Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
An amazing streak continues on the wrestling mat, and we're less than a week away from the start of a revamped hockey tournament. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. The MHSAA Ice Hockey Tournament bracket is set, and you'll notice some changes from last year's bracket. This year, the entire tournament is seeded using MPR. Each of the 3 divisions contains 8 regions with up to 8 teams in a region. The highest seeded team in a region will play the lowest seeded team, and so on. Last year, only the top 2 teams in each region were seeded. Also new this year, the teams will be reseeded following the quarterfinals. The Ice Hockey Seeding Committee will take all 4 semifinalist teams and reseed them 1 through 4. The 1 seed will play the 4, the 2 seed will play the 3, with the winners meeting in the finals. Last year, there was no reseeding at the semifinal level. The way divisions are broken up this year is also new. Standalone and co-op programs will be rank ordered by enrollment, but on separate lists. The top 1/3 from each list will make up Division 1, the middle third from each will be Division 2, and the bottom third from each list will comprise Division 3. This change is expected to rebalance the divisions, as Division 1 had been primarily made up of co-op teams in the past. Staying the same from past years, a coin flip will determine the home team for each game. The first regional games will drop the puck on February 20th. The semifinals are March 9th and 10th, with the finals on Saturday, March 11th. All of the semifinals and finals action from USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth will be available on the NFHS Network and the MHSAA Championship Radio Network. For brackets, scores, and more, be sure to check out MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to Davison's Greg Lawson. The sophomore tallied a triple-double, 32 points, 12 assists, and 11 rebounds, and a 5-overtime win over Flint Hamady. The 94-90 victory came in the Cardinal Classic Final. To the Gibraltar Carlson competitive cheer team, who knocked off 3-time reigning Division II state champion Allen Park on way to the championship of the Downriver League. And to the Holt wrestling team, they captured their 37th straight district title. Yes, 37 in a row by knocking off Grand Ledge in the finals. The last time Holt failed to win a wrestling district title, 1986, when That's What Friends Are For was the #1 song.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
We are in the pool today, nearing the end of our 100-yard freestyle race. To finish a race and record a time, a swimmer can either touch the touchpad or the finish end, i.e. the wall around the touchpad. If the touchpad is contacted in a time recorded, great. That's all the officials need. But what happens if I hit the touchpad and the time doesn't stop? Or if I touch the wall just above the touchpad? In these instances, the officials go to a backup timer, and the backup timer for that swimmer will be used as their race time. The backup timer operates for all races, but is only used in the event of a touchpad malfunction or a swimmer hitting the finish end. A majority of the time, it's not even needed, but it's good to have for instances like these.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. If you aren't following the MHSAA on social media, what are you waiting for? It's a great way to keep up with everything going on at the MHSAA. Looking for tournament updates, event announcements, or links to stories? then check out our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Instagram and TikTok is where you will find our weekly Performance of the Week feature and other behind-the-scenes content. YouTube has tons of historic MHSAA finals archived. Look for classic matchups and rewatch some great games. MHSAA social media is the best way to connect with us every day. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. With winter tournaments just getting started, you don't want to miss a thing. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
To head over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Won't get it. Ryan dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryan, Vanderjack up fake. Launches a three. Good. Oh my goodness. Out to the point. Throws him up. Innocent space. Shot. Scores. 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 unanswered. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down.
Welcome to game night and welcome to hockey night on MGN, and also welcome to our first playoff broadcast of the 2023 season. My name is Nate Schreier, and welcome in again here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. And we do finally get to start playoff play. You've felt the intensity coming up throughout the stretch run, of course, mostly the basketball season on Game Night. Now, for the first time this year, we finally have a hockey night on MGN, and it's an MHSAA regional quarterfinal here in Division III. Grandville and Big Rapids this evening at Southside Ice Arena. Catholic Central is hosting this region this year, and this is going to be a really, really fun game. And this is how it sets up the base storylines here on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show for the Grandville Bulldogs. 7-18 now on the year, but a swoon to close their season for Coach Brazil. They lose their final 7 games, and they lost 9 of 10. They came into that stretch 6-9 on the season. It has been a struggle down the stretch for this Bulldogs team, but they, of course, have won back-to-back regional championships up in D1, now back down into D3. We'll see what sort of impact they can have on that and how they can get the season jump-started. It's a clean slate for everyone. For Big Rapids, the Cardinals under head coach Tim Blashill, a team that really has been right around 500 all year long in terms of all the stats when you look at them as well. 13-12 overall on their season. They play an independent schedule, and when you look at this team, they score about 3.5 goals per game. They give up about 3.5 goals per game, just below 3.36 goals per game. They score, they give up 3.28 goals per game. So they are truly right down the middle, a team that's kind of right in that middle period of winning or losing 4-3 games. The Bulldogs scoring 2.5 goals per game on the year. This year's been they've given up a lot more goals than, of course, these great defensive Grandville teams have in years past. They're giving up about 5.44 goals per game on the season to their opponents. So that's the base setup. We've got a lot to get to here on the Bates Agency pregame show. Do not go anywhere. Both teams will be on the ice shortly as well for warm-ups. We're scheduled for a 7:20 puck drop. We'll see exactly if that happens. Things maybe been a little bit behind schedule at the rink today, but we've got a lot to get to. We've got a lot of storylines. We'll start setting up some of the key things. I mean, what are we looking at? We're looking at top lines leading the way. We're looking at the goaltending battle. What exactly does it look like? There was some talk of freshmen in nets for both teams. Looks like that may not be the case. The Bulldogs may be rolling with a lot of experience and back in net instead. We'll get to all of that in just a few moments. We'll talk about Pratt bringing offense from the defensive end of the ice for the Bulldogs. And, of course, we'll talk about Grandville on that stretch, on that attempt to go back-to-back regional championships. They've gotten 2 in a row. They've played at Fair State the last couple years. They made it to the Final Four last year. Can the Bulldogs start that kind of run again? 7-18 on the year. May not look like it in some extent, but when you get through this region, when you look at the rest of Division III as well, I think the Bulldogs are positioned, and it starts tonight, a tough game against Big Rapids to try to get things going. The exact same question can be asked for Big Rapids as they look to come down to the Grand Rapids area into their region and go for a little bit of a run until maybe they can find their way on their home rink in the quarterfinals at Avila Ice Arena and Ferris State University. A lot more to get to here on the Bates Agency pregame show. Do not go anywhere.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season, and we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game.
Driver. Hi, I'm Chandler.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye.
And Cam Regner's has scoring report for the Panthers. 4 points thrown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. And welcome back. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It's Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Grandville and Big Rapids here in this MHSAA regional quarterfinal. It is Region 20 here in Division 3 for MHSAA hockey. And again, going over some of those things we talked about, one of the very first talking points that I went to, the expected goaltending battle. Freshmen got word from Grandville. Does sound like we actually are going to wind up having that. They have turned a lot to their terrific freshman netminder, Aiden Karras, down the stretch of the season, 5-8 on the year, the .259 goals against average. I think you look at what he's been able to do even during some of the team's struggles down the stretch to some extent. I think you've seen a very impressive freshman netminder that has stepped in for the Bulldogs. But for Big Rapids, their primary netminder throughout a lot of the year has been Cooper Flax, another freshman. So I think very likely we are setting up that freshman versus freshman net battle tonight. And that's one of the first talking points. You're into the playoffs. You're looking at a couple of teams, a Grandville team that is traditionally known for their terrific defensive structure and what they do in that regard. They've struggled a little bit more defensively this year than what they have in years past. Big Rapids, like I said, right in the middle, kind of they score 3.3 goals per game. They give up 3.3 goals per game. So two teams are kind of mid-paced, and that way a little bit when they aren't chasing leads. That's been one of Grandville's problems. They've been down, maybe chasing, taking more risks. You're going to have those two netminders leaned on, freshman netminders leaned on, and that's the first talking point for tonight. There's experience for both these teams as well that they have backing up in net, it sounds like, but it looks like we're going freshman versus freshman in net this evening with a regional quarterfinal on the line and trying to advance on Saturday, the next time these teams will be in action. So Saturday night you will see these two, or the winner of this game, continue on their season. Actually, the other game, East Grand Rapids, Kennewick Hills, who will have Forest Hills Northeast, is playing right on the other rink here at Southside Ice Arena. We're on the green rink, the Aquinas rink, and on the Catholic Central rink, that other game going on at the exact same time. So we're going to know what all the matchups are right away. It'll be Catholic Central that is awaiting the winner of this contest. So that certainly is all what's up for play here tonight. Continuing on against Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. So go over some of the goaltending battle. Look at what are some of the other things that stand out with how these two teams may attack most of the time. And I think one of the things that definitely stands out, like you see oftentimes in high school hockey, is the idea of the top lines leading the way. And both of these teams certainly dig into that sort of bag of tricks, so to speak, in terms of top lines that are very talented, very skilled, and they do a lot of the heavy lifting for each of their respective teams. I think when you look at the Bulldogs, obviously these things are going to start offensively with Andrew Pullman, the terrific senior. He had 2 goals in the loss against Byron Center last time. Of course, Byron Center, maybe the best team in the state of Michigan. The Bulldogs went toe-to-toe with on Saturday night. He has 23 goals on the season, 32 points. So he has been a real sniper for the Bulldogs. That entire top line can mimic that sort of statement. And then for Big Rapids, look at them offensively. Tanner Flax, Wyatt Scara, Jack Balahowski. They have a lot of other kind of top-heavy lines. So both these teams are top line. The question is, will they be matched up on each other? Will we see those two lines split differently in terms of a defensive or a checking line put on them for one team or the other? Those are sort of the matchups that I think I'm first looking at. The net minding, the top lines. That's where the offense and the defense, in a lot of regards, are going to come to in this game. The Bulldogs have found their way onto the ice to broadcast right. They are beginning their warm-ups and getting ready for this one. Grandville in the white uniforms tonight with the maroon numbers trimming, and then, of course, the block Grandville G across the chest of those uniforms on the crest. Still waiting for the Cardinals and head coach Blashill to find their way onto the ice for their warm-ups. Again, 7:20. The expected puck drop looks like will likely be just a little bit behind that here this evening. This is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Thanks to Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency, Centennial Securities. If you're maybe new to game night, maybe more of just a hockey follower tuning in tonight, they are great 2 presenting sponsors of game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Rest of our week, by the way, Friday we are back on the basketball call. We will have the doubleheader with video coverage of the doubleheader from Grandville as Grandville takes on Rockford in a rivalry matchup, double matchup, to close the OK Red portion of the season, also close the regular season for the girls team, as March on MGN is right around the corner as the basketball playoffs also are right on deck. For the Bulldogs, of course, you look at offensively, we talk about that great top line, but for Grandville there also is a lot of talk, I think, when you look at the makeup of this team offensively, of defense into offense. In particular, the blue line turning into offense, and the terrific senior defenseman Easton Pratt. We've seen Hughes and then his brother Holden in years past as well, how terrific they've been. 10 goals, 10 assists for Pratt on the blue line this season. So he's been very efficient, moving the puck, which he always has been very good at, but you've seen that shot coming through to a 10-goal clip as well on the year, which is second in the Bulldogs in goal scoring. So again, the Bulldogs maybe attacking from the blue line, a team that normally is known a little bit more for their defensive structure. We've seen that in years past, how they've been able to win games in the playoffs, where you start winning games 1-0, 2-1 more. He's been a big part of that defensively, but also offensively. Think power play in particular. If we wind up getting a lot of penalties in this one, I think Pratt is going to be maybe the X factor to the game in that way, letting one go from the blue line, getting some tips in front, and I think the special teams in general are going to be very critical with how each of these teams are going to play in terms of their structure, how each of these teams are going to set up their attack. I think power plays and special teams for both teams will be very big. Big Rapids finding their way onto the ice. If you see the Montreal Canadiens 10-minute warm-up clock has started, so we are going to be a little delayed to about a 7:30. Of course, they got to get the Zamboni out as well. So a little bit after 7:30, a little bit later, puck drop, but we're ready to go. Regional quarterfinal game here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. We've got a lot more still to get to here from this one. Do not go anywhere.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Hi everyone, Nate from MGN. Hopefully everyone is enjoying today's presentation of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We are incredibly proud of the last few seasons of MGN and the coverage and broadcast editions that we've been able to bring, including adding in-house produced video coverage this winter. We also are very, very excited for the future and have some big plans on how to expand and improve further upon our video, podcast, and radio coverage. We are incredibly thankful to Grandville and the Michigan high school sports community for their support as we've seen our audience continue to grow like wildfire, seeing upwards of 8,000 to 10,000 people in total tuning in for some of our largest Friday night and playoff coverage games. We're also, of course, thankful to the Grandville Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency and Centennial Securities for their great long-time presenting sponsorship of MGN. Because of them, all these great additions that we've been able to make over the last few years and all these plans we have going forward have been able to happen. Of course, also, we have to thank the community that is tuned in, and because of all that, we're in a position where we are looking to add partners here at MGN as we continue to look to improve that coverage going forward, along with our other due diligence looking on ahead. We can even reach out to you, the listener here today, if you, your company, or somewhere you know may have interest in partnering with Michigan Game Night. Please feel free to reach out. MGN offers a unique opportunity to sponsor both the Grandville area, get your ads reached out into the West Michigan area and beyond throughout the state of Michigan with playoff coverage. There's no one broadcast team and maybe even additional broadcasts within the MGN window that quite offer that sort of benefit for your company. And through customizable presenting sponsorship plans that are for the 2023-2024 school year, we'll even be able to throw in this winter onto these affordable plans. I think there's a unique, customizable deal that could be met to help best find the needs of your company, meet them to MGN. We are so excited about what's coming. We're thankful to the community that's been able to support us over the last few years, and we're really, really ready to see what's next. And hopefully, along with the great support from the Bates Agency and Centennial Securities, we also are going to be able to march forward with even more great things going forward. We've added video coverage, and now I think it's time to add on even more to our video, radio, and podcast coverage going forward. So thanks again, everyone, for their support. And make sure if you do have interest to reach out through MichiganGameNight.com. You can find an entire contact page right there, in particular through email, migamennight@gmail.com. There's phone numbers and more also listed that you can reach out to myself through on the Michigan Game Night website. Thanks again, everyone. Now let's get back to the game. Welcome back, Nate Dreyer with you here at Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Radio coverage tonight as we face off our hockey night on MGN playoff coverage. Grandville Big Rapids in a Region 20 quarterfinal here down in Division 3. Welcome inside Southside Ice Arena this evening. So again, setting things up, the expected net-minding battle between a pair of freshmen with Karras and Flax getting ready to go head-to-head in this one. You look at these two squads and what they bring to the table as well. We went over some of the records, went over some of the base places where you may see some of the scoring from as well. The other thing that's a little interesting is how even the depth is. I think you look at each of these teams
roll pretty much just as deep. You're going to have two main lines of offense, two main lines of defense, and then maybe a little bit extra substitutions as well that they may throw in there. But for the most part, two teams that aren't overly deep in terms of rolling 3-4 lines continuously, like we've seen teams in the past do. We've even seen Grandville teams in the past roll a little bit deeper in the last year or two than what this year's team might do. So that also is going to add to looking down the stretch, maybe more mistakes at the end of the periods, certainly trying to limit the length of shifts. I don't think you're going to see a lot of long shifts whatsoever in this game. A lot of intensity, as you always see in playoff hockey. That's one of the great easy things I could set up, is talking about the intensity of course, playoff hockey games and what comes to the table in those sort of games. But that's exactly the easy point that's to be made, especially teams that are a little bit shallower in their bench, in their depth, and maybe just being a 2+ an extra line sort of teams instead of teams that regularly roll the 3 or 4 deep in terms of their lines. And the main storyline, of course, for the Grandville faithful tuning in here that normally tune in through game night, is that the Bulldogs are looking for their 3rd consecutive regional championship. They won their last 2 in Division 1. They're previously a D2 team that opted up into D1. This year falling down with how things reorganized into Division 3. So the Bulldogs, a D3 team to watch out for, as they are looking for a 3rd consecutive regional championship. They've been to Fair States of Eagle Ice Arena for back-to-back seasons as well, looking to do that one more time. Of course, Big Rapids knows a lot about Eagle Ice Arena. They call that their home arena, and that is where the winner of this region will wind up. This is the Catholic Central region. The winner of this game will have Catholic Central on Saturday night. If the Bulldogs win, we will be back with coverage of this one. Basic stat rundown as warm-ups continue, about 3 minutes on that warm-up clock right now. Again, Grandville 7-18 overall on the season for head coach Joe Brazil. They finished 6th in the OK Roo this year at 4-7 within the OK division. And for the Bulldogs, they have a 2.52 goals per game average. They're giving up 5.44. So that's really the main missing piece of this Grandville team versus some of the great teams we've seen in the past couple years that have run the table, been at the top of the conference, and then also, of course, went on those deep runs is the defense has been a little bit not lacking per se. They've had some injuries they've dealt with as well, but it's been that's been the main talking point. But the great structure that the Bulldogs have had throughout the years. You can expect to see that in the playoffs for Big Rapids. Coach Blashill 13-12 on this season. They score 3.36 goals per game. They give up 3.28 goals per game. So they are a middle-of-the-road team in terms of pace. I think when you look at how they're going to play, they're going to be opportunistic, but I don't think you're going to constantly see them streaking for opportunities. They're very comfortable playing that 4-3, 3-2 type style. For the Bulldogs, traditionally, maybe more in a 2-1 type style in the playoffs. This year, the defense, of course, struggling a little bit more despite really great net mining. And again, freshman versus freshman completely throws out a lot of this, I think, in terms of the net mining or in terms of the general battle when you have inexperience to that extent in net for either team here this evening. Big Rapids technically the home team according to the MHSAA MPR. The Bulldogs a .461, Big Rapids a .486. So both very close in that regard, as you typically see with teams in the same division. But Big Rapids, for that reason, technically they're wearing the home, or they're wearing the red uniforms, but technically the home team as designated by the MHSAA in terms of the better MPR mark in this contest. Last time out, and this is of course the big talking point in terms of momentum for either of these two teams, and we mentioned in the opening of the Bates Stadium's pregame show, Grandville has lost 7 in a row. They've lost 9 of 10. They lost to Byron Center last time out Saturday night. I actually was able to catch the end of the game. I was working another an Aquinas hockey game right after I caught the end. The Bulldogs trailed only 4-3, but then, of course, maybe the top team in the state of Michigan, many would argue Byron Center went on a run, won that game 7-3, and the Bulldogs fall to the Bulldogs in their final contest of the regular season, and of course lose 7 in a row in a real kind of struggle to close the Bulldog season. But everything wipes clean for Big Rapids. They beat Midland Dow 3-1 last time out, so they're able to build some good momentum. That got them above 500. They came in 12-12, now 13-12-0 coming into this one. Warm-ups are wrapping up. We went over some of these pieces. At the end of the day, they aren't X factors, but you have to keep in mind Tanner Flax, the junior forward and defenseman, is listed as mostly be playing up front. Leading scorer and leading goal scorer for Big Rapids. Andrew Pullman, the senior forward for the Bulldogs, he is their leading scorer and their leading goal scorer. They both are plus 20 goals scored on the season, and you certainly know what you can expect with either of those two. Warm-ups coming to a close. Both teams will wrap things up, and we'll get ready to get the action underway here momentarily. If we'll get the ice cleaned up, we'll get the two teams ready to rock and roll. Grandville and Big Rapids this evening is a regional quarterfinal game on game night on Michigan Sports Radio.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrel.
Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
and it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season, and we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game.
Yeah, driver. Hi, I'm Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work there for 6 years. The names are one.
Where's one? Yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye.
And Cam Regnerus has scoring report for the Panthers. 4 points thrown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. And welcome back. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Southside Ice Arena tonight. Grandville and Big Rapids in a Division III regional quarterfinal game. Zamboni on ice, working its way around and getting us closer to puck drop here. And this one, of course, a little bit behind schedule, as originally we were set for a 7:20 puck drop, looking probably closer to 7:40 at this point in time. But 17 freshmen, as you can see on our enhanced radio coverage, up on the board, and we'll be ready to go shortly. Big Rapids 13-12 on the year. The Bulldogs 7-18 coming into the playoffs. Coach Brazil, the head coach for the Bulldogs. Tim Blashill, the head coach for Big Rapids. Going through again, we ran through the stats, trying to run through where are some of the places that you may find some advantages for these two teams. Well, the one thing that you're going to find for both teams is a ton of youth. I think that is really, first and foremost, one of the main talking points of this game on the whole is youth up and down the lineups. We have already beaten to death the idea of two freshman netminders, each starting the first playoff game of the season, as we're expecting to see, but Grandville graduated so much from those great teams the last couple years. They bring back a lot of talent, but they bring back a lot of young talent. Freshmen, sophomores make up the bulk of the Bulldog lineup. A very young team for Big Rapids as well. They've got some good junior leadership, I think, is the one thing that stands out for them when you look at their leading scorer, Flax, being a junior, some of their other leaders in that regard, but also they look to their youth in terms of scoring leaders. Their assist leader on the year is Wyatt Scara, a freshman forward. He's got 15 goals, 16 assists on the year. This is a very dynamic young freshman Scara, and I think he's going to be the X factor of this game. Coming out as a freshman, maybe doesn't know any better in terms of the playoffs and the intensity that one will come out with guns blazing, so to speak. And I think you're going to see maybe a lack of nerves from him, or a lot of nerves, as you're going to find a freshman. But to have that much talent in a freshman like they have, the Bulldogs, of course, have a lot of young talent as well, but Scara in particular really jumps off the page, being the second leading scorer on this Big Rapids team, just a few points behind their terrific junior Tanner Flax as well, Cooper Flax in net for Big Rapids, his younger brother. So all those things that we're keeping an eye on and we're looking on as we get closer to our first puck drop of the year on Hockey Night on MGN. Not as much hockey coverage as we normally like to have here this year on game night, just the way the schedule is worked out, but we are here for the playoffs, and we're here for the Grandville Bulldogs in the playoffs. As long as the Bulldogs go, we will have them covered through regions, through the quarterfinals. We will not have the state, just the way the schedule works out, we will not have the state rounds if the Bulldogs do manage to go on that sort of run. But make sure you stay tuned to @MI Game Night across social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for more information on where we might also be, because there are some other, of course, good games. Look at the regional championship coming up here, the quarterfinal game being played at Fair State that we've done the last 3 seasons now as well on game night. All those things are up for grabs as we move into our March on MGN segment of the year, where things get very busy as the basketball playoffs, along with the end of the hockey playoffs, get started. I'll be able, as we get closer, to start getting into a little bit of what exactly that schedule may look like. But, of course, if you like D1 basketball in West Michigan, we're going to have that covered all the way. We're going to start in Grandville's district. We'll carry that through the region that's being played at West Ottawa, the quarterfinal likely that's also being played at Caledonia. I mean, teams like Muskegon, teams like Northview are going to be involved in that battle. Hopefully, maybe even the Bulldogs. We'll see what kind of run they are going to be able to go on. Will be involved as well. We'll have some girls basketball coverage as well. And as always, we go right on through the Breslin Center. The plan, as always, is we'll be at the Breslin Student Event Center for championship games on both the girls and boys side of the draw come the end of March. But all that is still well ahead. We're still, only February 21. So it's not quite March on MGN yet at this point in time, but it is hockey playoffs time. The intensity picks up. There's nothing better than hockey playoffs. And for these two teams, the slate is wiped clean. Big Rapids, a young team that have built into this 500 team. They obviously feel good about how they're positioned with a good core of young talent. For the Bulldogs, replacing a lot from a team that has won back-to-back regional championships, 7-18 on the year. They swoon to close the season, but they are the definition of everything's wiped clean. You've got a very experienced coaching staff. You've got some good senior leadership that have been a part of those deep championship looking runs the last few years, and all of that kind of setting up right now for a really, really fun one this evening. Zamboni just about done here on the green rink, the Aquinas rink at Southside Ice Arena. The teams will soon find their way back out, and we will be ready for some hockey action. We're going to step aside one more time here in the Bates Agents pregame show. When we come back, it'll be around the time for the national anthem to come on deck and for hockey to come on deck as well. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Southside.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it, and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car.
Hey, my car!
And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Welcome back, Southside Ice Arena. Teams are finding their way back out onto the ice, and we are about ready to get this regional quarterfinal underway here on Hockey Night on MGM. Nate Dreyer with the national anthem on deck. We already got our national anthem normal ad block out of the way, so we'll stay with you through that anthem and bring that to you here inside Southside Ice Arena. Get through all those pregame festivities and get to hockey. It is the red uniforms with the Montreal Canadiens blue and white stripe through the center for Big Rapids, the Bulldogs, in the white uniforms with numbers, lettering, and trimming in maroon. Freshmen on freshman flax versus Karis and Net tonight. That was a big talking point during the Bates Agency pregame show. Let's step aside. We'll take it down rinkside, and we'll get ready for playoff hockey here on Game Night.
Good evening, and welcome to Southside Ice Arena. The Michigan High School Athletic Association welcomes you to today's regional contest for the 2023 Ice Hockey Tournament. Your starting lineup for the Big Rapids Cardinals. On defense, number 5, Carter Later. Number 23, Jack Husky. On right wing, number 3, White Sierra. On left wing, number 15, Maverick Brooks. In center, number 19, Tanner Black. And his right, number 33, Cooper Black. And head coach, the Big Rapids Cardinals is Tim Palacio. And now in home team, Grandville Bulldogs. Defense number 3, Brayton Vandervee. Defense number 6, Easton Pratt. Forward number 10, Bruce Holloman. Forward number 12, Andrew Coleman. Forward number 22, Ryan Thibault. And between the pipes, number 1, Aiden Carrot. Coach for Grandville is Joe Brazil. Could all please rise at this time if you are able to remove your headgear.
All right, time to roll here at Southside Ice Arena. Tim Blashley, head coach of the Big Rapids Cardinals. You heard the starting lineups up front of the freshman forward Wyatt Scara, along with sophomore forward Maverick Strokic, and the junior forward Tanner Flax. Draws in the starting lineup. Out back, they'll have Jack Balahosky, the junior, and Carter Later, the senior defenseman. In net, it's their freshman, 9-6 on the year, Cooper Flax. The Bulldogs head coach Joe Brazil will out back start the freshman defenseman Braden Vanderveen and the senior defenseman Easton Pratt. Up front for the Bulldogs is the sophomore forward Luke Holloman, the senior forward Andrew Pullman, and the junior forward Ryan Hebel. The Bulldogs have their freshman netminder Aiden Karras in net. Looking at the goaltending battle, the Bulldogs netminder Karras, a 5-8 record on the year, the .259 goals against average, and an .802 save percentage for Big Rapids. And their freshman Cooper Flex, as I mentioned, a 9-6 record for him, a .325 goals against average, and an .871 save percentage on the season. The Bulldogs in the white uniforms move right to left across your radio dial. The block Grandville G on the chest. It's the Montreal Canadiens style uniforms, red with white and blue. Moving left to right for Big Rapids. Holloman gets the draw against Flax. And away we go. Holloman wins it straight back, left side on to Pratt. He'll throw it near side, right to left over the blue line, looking for Pullman, and Pullman touched that one up offside. And we will go back down for a draw. It's actually going to come down into the Bulldog end. Looks like they'll call that an icing. So 16:54, 6 seconds off the clock. Draw comes to the left side of the Bulldog freshman netminder Karras. Again, Flax and Holloman on the draw, sophomore and junior. This one's swept up top for a long shot from Later, right point, right into the glove of Karras, and the freshman makes his first stop of the game and hangs onto it. Draw again will be to his left side. Same line, stay out there, and again, Holloman and Flax on this draw to the netminder's left, near side. More time from the same circle. Draw coming to the left of the netminder. This time, Scara will move over on the draw against Holloman, righty versus righty on the faceoff. Holloman gets kicked out on the first attempt of the draw. Scara now will await Hebel. Check that Pullman will come in to take the draw. Flax will counter against him. Scrum over the draw. Came out left circle. Shot there from Balahosky is saved into the sideboards, and an arm goes up behind the play. An interference penalty coming on the scramble for the puck, and it looks like it will be the Bulldogs going to the man advantage. It's Maverick Strokic, the sophomore forward, that will be taking a seat. Interference penalty to Strokich. She talked about it in the pregame show how critical the special teams battle going to be. Draw comes to the right side of Cooper Flax right here as the Bulldogs look to go on offense. Mason Schroeder, their sophomore, will be in to lead the offensive unit here on the 5-on-4. One along the boards. Balahoski locked up left corner against Pullman. He's joined in there by Josh Kohanek. Flax has it right side for Big Rapids. Motors over his own blue line. Fires it across his body down left corner of the Bulldog end to his side scrum. Pratt comes out of there with the Bulldogs. Moving right to left near side. Here's one of the Bulldogs' captains, Pratt, firing to center ice onto Kohanek. Kohanek settles the puck down. Goes to the top for Pullman, the Bulldog leading goal scorer. Feeds right circle, quick shot through the legs of the netminder, but goes wide from Owen Barrett. Left corner, chasing after it with one hand on the stick is Kohanek. He's roughed up into the corner. Pratt will come to help join the battle. And a good effort by Jones to take it up the right side and clear it all the way down the length of the ice off the boards. Pullman behind his own net, loses his footing, but regathers far corner, moving right to left. Put a nice move on Blanchard, angles his way up the left-hand side, threw it off the boards, trying to hit a streaking Schroeder to center ice. Schroeder regathers, drags down left corner, locked up by Flax. Whistle behind the play, and another penalty is on its way here. And it is again to Big Rapids behind the play, and it is Blanchard this time. Looks like he got a trip behind the play, so Grandville will have 52 seconds of 5-on-3 time coming up. 15:26 in the first. The Bulldogs go to the two-man advantage. Grandville brings Luke DeBoer, the freshman, out to take the draw here against Flax, who has barely left the ice for Big Rapids. One out left point here to Pratt. Pratt shot blocked by Flax, angles right corner. First down to it is Logan Leiter. He loses the handle onto the Bulldogs. It's swept on net by DeBoer, taken and cleared the length of the ice by Big Rapids again. Behind the net, Aiden Karras sets it up. 15 minutes to go in the first period. 32 seconds here on this 5-on-3 power play for the Bulldogs. Easton Pratt motors all the way into the offensive zone. Turns off left circle. Trying to go blue line to blue line. Got it over to the freshman defenseman Vanderveen. Vanderveen then loses it along the boards to his side scrum. Picks in along the boards. A whistle and another penalty is called. This time it's an interference, and this one looks like it is going the Bulldogs' direction as both teams were touching up. A sloppy start to this playoff game. And we are actually going to go to 4-on-4 now. So one quick correction back to that last time. There were still 4 on the ice. Looks like it was a penalty going either way, a pair of tripping penalties. So now we will go 4-on-4 for 15 seconds here. Bulldogs win the draw, look to clear the zone, getting it past the pinching Jack Balahoski. He'll get on his horse back into the defensive zone for Big Rapids, put it up the far boards, taken their right point by Vanderveen, thrown down deep for Pullman. Pullman backhands in front of that, picked off. Big Rapids to counterattack with Heidgen up the middle of the ice. Heidgen to the top of the right-hand circle, lets one fly, held on to and covered up by Karras. And Big Rapids will now draw onto a man advantage, as it is just the Bulldogs. DeBoer now is the extra man in the penalty box after those counteracting penalties earlier on. So 5-on-4 advantage, and back to the power play now for 1:40 here, just about, for Big Rapids. Skara on the draw against Veniklas. Skara wins it out to the right-hand point for Flax. Flax will direct one down behind the net, looking to find the charging Strokich, who's back out there. He's able to work it around. Extra pass to the right point for Flax. Flax down into the right corner, chasing after it. Strokich ran hard into Pratt from behind. No penalty. It sat alongside the side of the net. Osaski tries to wrap it around. Karras is down, able to cover it in the scrum and stop the play. 1:15 to go on the power play for Big Rapids and 14:05 to go in the first period. Draw comes to the left side of Karras here. 5-on-4 advantage for Big Rapids. Skara, again, their terrific freshman, will be in to take the draw here for the Cardinals. Bulldogs counter with their freshman DeBoer. Long tie-up over this one. Puck to the near side. Out right point. Flax unable to hang on to it. And it's on to Pullman. Streaking shorthanded into the offensive zone. Locked up left circle by Balahowski. Taken away by Flax. He'll clear it out of his own zone. He's able to muscle his way by Willman to center ice. Got it on to Skara. Skara makes a move right circle. Lost the handle down deep. Pratt able to pick it off momentarily, trying to clear down the ice. It finds its way on a stick of Strokirch behind the net. Strokirch cycles left boards to Osaski. Osaski left point through the stick of Brogan Jones, and Jones is forced to go back to center ice, reconvene, throw it into the Grandville end where Pullman takes it with 32 seconds on the power play, and Pullman sends it all the way down the length of the ice into the crest of Flax, who will play it along for his side. 13-14 in the last first period, 21 seconds on the power play here for Big Rapids. No score in the regional quarterfinal game. Opening up Hockey Night on MGN's playoff coverage. Veneklas comes away with a steal in the offensive zone, drags at the circle, backhands in between the circles looking for Schroeder. It just goes out of his grasp, and with 4 seconds left on the power play, Big Rapids will counterattack. They did not get to the red line. It's thrown behind the Bulldog net, and that is an icing. And we are back to even strength. Sloppy start. 2 penalties on either side already in this one. And now we will get set to maybe settle in to this playoff contest a little more. 12:51 on the first period clock. No score between Grandville and Big Rapids. Draw to the left side of the Cardinal net. Blanchard pokes it along to the right corner through the stick of DeBoer, and with some speed, here comes Balahowski back the other way over the red line. Knocked off the puck, came back to that red line on Osaski, who follows up on to Balahowski. He'll take it from right along the blue line and fling it into the right corner of the Bulldog zone, but an offside is called on that choppy play. We'll come back to the neutral zone for a draw with 12:34 in the first. Big Rapids moves left to right across the radio dial. Grandville moves right to left. Draw far side in the neutral zone. Coach Blashill will change out his unit right here. Logan Leiter, the senior, comes out to take the draw against the Bulldog freshman Luke DeBoer. We've seen a lot of action out of the Bulldog freshman in the faceoff dot. Draw one back by Big Rapids to Heijnen. He throws it right side off the boards onto Montgomery, who tries to clear into the zone. It's knocked down at the blue line, sent back down behind the Big Rapids net. We're turning on the puck as Balahowski, far side, just in front of the blue line to Olds. Olds flings a pass that's tipped high in the air by Kohanek and falls at center ice onto the stick of Olds, angling to the right side. On the backhander, gets over the red line, throws it down behind the Bulldog net. Far corner, Easton Pratt flubs on a clearing attempt that Holloman pushes into the right-hand corner. Tight angle shot, knocked away, taken by a back-skating Pullman behind his own net. Pullman fires near side, looking for Wolkowitz. Pratt now sells it back down. He'll reconvene back behind the Bulldog net, fired off the right boards to center ice, tie up to his side. With speed, Holloman knocked off the puck. Center ice again, they scrum after it, and Big Rapids lifts as far as just in front of the Bulldog net, where Wolkowitz will turn on the backhand. The Bulldog sophomore defenseman got it to Pratt. Pratt trying to hit a streaking Pullman center ice. Nicely intercepted by Flax. He'll be turned in against the near side boards by Pratt. Figures it along to Strokirch, and Strokirch lifts it behind the Grandville net. 11:21 in the first. Right point stolen here by Skara and Big Rapids. He'll lift it behind the Grandville net once more. Touch pass in front for Flax. He flubs on a shot from right in front of the net. Good defense on him as well, and it'll come out right point for a long shot from Later that misses wide. Turn shot, Flax off the rebound, left circle, whistles as well wide, out to the right point for Leiter. Leiter sends one on around. That's Carter Leiter, the senior. Far corner. Schroeder onto it for the Bulldogs, able to clear the zones. It tips through the stick of Willman left side and tumbles down into the Big Rapids end. 10:44 in the first period. No score. Regional quarterfinal game. Leiter lifts it the length of the ice. It's deemed to have been tipped. No icing coming. The Bulldogs in the midst of a change fire it 3/4 of the length of the ice to a side scrum in front of the scoring area. Will envelop here at center ice as both teams were completing their change and racing onto the puck. Poked down into the Grandville end by Braden Olds, chased after it, stolen away by Trammell Fields. Fields right side, put a nice move on over his own blue line, lifting play left side. No score, 10-10 to go, first period of the regional quarterfinal here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We're live from Southside Ice Arena tonight. Near side draw in the neutral zone. Bulldogs move right to left. Left to right goes Big Rapids. 19 versus 19 here. DeBoer locks up against Flax. And Flax pushes it on for Skara. Skara knocked down center ice by Pratt. 3 aside at the blue line. Fight over this one. Skara, nice job, splits a pair of defenders. Leaves a pass off for Strokrich. Right circle shot. Whistles wide. Far boards picked up by Kohanek. Races over the blue line. Split a defender. Throws one as he got past the red line. Short into the Big Rapids end. And the Cardinals look to go on the counterattack. Stolen away left point momentarily by Kohanek. Lifted away by Skara. Here comes the terrific freshman. Nice move. Dragging into the zone, but a good stick from Stonehouse at the blue line. Able to counter out a nice crossing over move. And the Bulldogs chase back down behind their own net. Flung around to the left point. Held in by a shot from Belahosky in Big Rapids right corner. This time Pullman able to get a piece of it near side. Clear back down into the Cardinal end. 9:17 to go, first period. Cardinal blue line. Osaski turns on one down behind the Bulldog net, but first there is Blanchard to keep the possession. Threw it off the side of the net. Far boards. Hebo onto it first for the Bulldogs. Poked away from him behind the Grandville net. Tremel Fields, the junior defenseman, turns far boards. Fields pass to the blue line, picked off, down on a knee, shot left circle from Belahosky is knocked down, goes behind the Bulldog net. Owen Barrett chases it down to the near boards. To a side scrum, Pullman got a piece of it. Lifts to center ice. Logan Leiter takes a red line, tries to fire one back down to the Bulldog net. Bulldog end that's tipped down. Grandville counterattacks right circle. Shot from Pullman is knocked down and saved in front. Back the other way comes Big Rapids again. Leiter off the right side. Lifts one high behind the Bulldog net. Pratt there first, kind of misplayed a little bit. Leiter will chase it on him, squirts away from each of them. Far side, Braden Vanderveen got it out of the dangerous own zone on the Veneklas at center ice. Veneklas hands off behind him. Bulldogs clear it in. They'll also complete a change as Veneklas chases the puck down 1 against 4 into the Big Rapids end. Near board scrum. In the Big Rapids end, Cardinals fire it to the far boards to Purdue. Purdue lifts off the glass, right point into the skates of Vanderveen, stripped away from him. Vanderveen loses it along to Wyatt Welch. Here comes the Big Rapids freshman, splitting a pair of defenders into the right-hand corner, tied up along the boards by Pratt. Pratt lifts near side through the stick of Willman to center ice. At his own blue line, Flax turns far boards on to Leiter. Pass will just trickle into the Bulldog end, turning onto a Holloman. No score with 7.5 to go in the first, and an icing coming up to the Bulldogs as a rink-long pass misses and will bring this puck back down into the Bulldog end. Aiden Karras, the freshman netminder, will see this action come to his left-hand side. Cooper Flax, fellow freshman on the other side. The bulk of the pressure has been down in the Grandville end in this one. Most of the pressure it would feel in the neutral zone, a lot of going back and forth, but the bulk of the better opportunities have been Big Rapids' direction early with 7.5 to go in the first. Big Rapids wins the draw to the blue line, stolen away by Pullman. Right side, Leiter tries to hang on to it, unable to do so as it just trickles past the blue line. He'll fire one in behind the Bulldog net where Pratt takes it, or Tremel Fields, I should say, takes it, races up the right side, locked up against the boards, regathers the puck, caught a stick up high, a penalty coming to Big Rapids as Fields gets over the red line, throws it down behind the Big Rapids net. Skara races to the puck first, he touches it up, and a high sticking penalty is on its way to Big Rapids, their third penalty of the early going in this one, and Grandville back to the power play in a scoreless game. So the Bulldogs go back to the man advantage with 7:04 in the first. It's Strokrich going to the penalty box, the sophomore forward for the second time for Big Rapids. Draw comes to the right side of Cooper Flax in the Big Rapids net. DeBoer will take the draw against Osaski here. Now change sides, and the draw will come to the left-hand side of Flax. Tie up. Bulldogs take it out with Stonehouse. Shot from in between the circles. Save made. It was a blind save made by Flax. Right boards chased down and tipped behind the Big Rapids net In between the circles, just getting a stick on it was Brogan Jones, able to lift right side to a streaking Tyler Blanchard. Blanchard, 1 against 3, races into the Grandville end. Left circle, shot, and a snagged save is made by Karras to keep us scoreless. A great short-handed counterattack and a good save by the Bulldog freshman netminder to stop that one. 1:40 to go on the power play, 6:44 to go in the first. The Bulldogs on the man advantage, but the draw comes into the Grandville defensive end. Flax will take the draw against Schroeder. Now Pullman gets kicked out. He'll take the draw. Captain on captain. Now Flax gets kicked out, and Skara will come in for the draw for Big Rapids, and he'll win it straight back. Left point, long shot from Jones is seen the whole way, and Karras able to glove it and hang on to a low driving shot. And the draw once again will come to the right side of the Bulldog freshman netminder. 1:36 now to go on this power play. Schroeder the draw on Flax this time, as was initially seen. Flax pushes it on net. Karras directs to the corner. Behind the net, it's gathered here by Pratt. Thrown center ice on to Pullman. Bulldogs counterattack with a man advantage. Pullman drags into the offensive zone. Great job to keep his footing through a pair of defenders. Now Flax back check, steals it away, lifts out, but not quite all the way out of the zone. Pass left point on to Pratt. Shot, save made. Rebound right corner, Schroeder. Cycled out to the right point, giving left point on to Pratt. Pratt shot tipped in front by Pullman onto the stick of Jones, who will clear at the length of the ice. Halfway through the Bulldog power play, 6:05 in the first. Couple good looks there. We talked in the pregame about Easton Pratt's importance from the point on the power play. Here's Pratt motoring all the way into the offensive zone, up the left side, past Balahowski. Now he'll throw a check on to Blanchard, left corner. Schroeder picks up the puck. Schroeder turned in here against Balahowski defensively. Pratt helps join the battle. Bulldogs win it out left circle to Pullman. Nice move. Pullman sets up. Low shot. Save made. It also looks like it got tipped in front. I think getting a piece of it was Blanchard. Bulldogs keep the possession up top to Pratt. Nice move. Gets free. Shot blocked down this time by Balahowski. And the scrum in between the circles. The puck will tip out to the right point. Racing over is Vanderveen with a shot pass trying to keep the possession. Unable to do so. Grandville will go back to the bench. Get a change as Big Rapids clears the puck. 12 seconds to go on the power play. 5:14 to go. Scoreless first period. Stonehouse, right side, splits a pair of defenders over the blue line. Poked away by Leiter. Back to center ice. Backhanded by Vanderveen. And Big Rapids is back to even strength as we go just under 5 minutes to go in the first. Loose puck trickles all the way down into the Grandville end. First on it, Logan Leiter for Big Rapids, locked up by Vanderveen beneath the net. Able to just get a piece of it out, left point on to Jones to keep the possession. Long shot blocked out of play by DeBoer. Good job by the Bulldog freshman to get in front of that one, block that shot, and things will get whistled down as it bounces up into the Bulldog bench. 4:42 in the first, no score. Draw to the right side of Karras coming up here. Flax will take the draw on Holloman. Holloman wins it straight back behind the net. Bulldogs swing around near side to Ryan Hebel. Hebel cycles it center ice to a sprinting Pullman. Pullman drags into the offensive zone. To the front of the net, backhander. Nice job defensively. They tip it out of there. Took an awkward bounce, though, off the back of the net. Holloman nearly had a chance at that one as Flax was able to cover off the right-hand post, and Big Rapids counterattacks with Flax up the right side of the ice. He'll drag it all the way right corner. Lost the handle onto the Bulldogs and Holloman. Holloman to center ice. Leaves it right over the red line onto Hebel. Hebel will lift it down, or chase it down after he lifted it down into the offensive zone. Bulldogs complete a change. Blanchard at his own blue line. Drops off red line for Osaski. Back on to Blanchard. Blanchard throws it off the left boards behind the Grandville net. Near side, Pratt throws to the red line through the stick of Willman. He'll tip it down behind the Big Rapids net. First onto it, the turning stick of Brogan Jones. Jones lifts far side to the Big Rapids line of the turning Leiter. Here's Ortiz at the blue line now after he gets the feed. Goes through his stick at the red line, able to lift into the zone. Taken by Pratt. Pratt lifts to center ice. Jones lifts back down behind the Grandville net where Pratt settles it down. Pratt, ice long pass as he misses at center ice trying to hit the streaking Willman, and that will go down for an icing. 3:26 in the first. And the draw back down to the Bulldog end. No score here with 3:26 in the first of the regional quarterfinal. Grandville and Big Rapids, the Bulldogs and the Cardinals. Draw to the left side of Aiden Karras, the Bulldog freshman netminder. Came into the 5-8 record on the season. Leiter ties up with DeBoer. Second effort, DeBoer wins it back to Fields near side. And Fields will clear his own end and clear it all the way down behind the Big Rapids net, but it's canceled out. His first down to the puck is Kulhanek with good effort chasing it against Balahoski. To a side scrum behind the Cardinal net. Right board, left circle, turns in between the circles. Shot, save made, big rebound. Cleared to the left point where Fields got a piece of it, sending it down to the left short corner onto Kulhanek, and then Kulhanek has it poked away as far as center ice where Barrett turns on it. Best look of the game so far for the Bulldogs. Holloman onto the puck, right side, lifts left corner, chased down by Stonehouse, 1 against 2, racing out of there, Balahoski with it. He'll reverse course, going far side, back near side, lifts off the boards, trying to hit Braden Olds. Left point to his side, scrum again in the Bulldog offensive zone here. 2.5 to go first period. Leiter able to take this. He'll lift it the length of the ice. That will be an icing. And the Bulldogs will keep the Cardinals hemmed in right here with some of the best pressure we've seen out of the Grandville attack so far in this game. 2:22 in the first, no score. Draw to the right side of Cooper Flax. Schroeder on the draw against Skara. Skara gets kicked out. It'll be Strokrich coming in his place. Bulldogs win it straight back left side to Pullman, spinning away from Purdue, drags into the corner. Pullman, the Bulldog leading scorer, able to cycle it out left point to Pratt. Long shot, Pratt tipped in front, save made by Flax. Puck loose alongside the net, and the net comes off of its moorings as Flax got run into. Big save by the freshman Flax as he was able to, through the traffic, see that one and make the stop. 2:09 to go in the first and no score. Draw comes to the left side of the Big Rapids net here. Bulldogs, their probably best 2 looks of the game have come on these last 2 sequences. Skara, again, the draw against Schroeder. Schroeder wins it out to the point to Pratt. Pratt loses it to Flax. Flax chases down to the Grandville blue line. To his side, battle over it. On his knees, Pratt kind of flubs on that one. Taken away by Strokrich into the zone. Hands off right circle for Flax. Long shot, save made, directed to the corner by Karras. At the left point, Hebel will take it and lift it halfway down into the Big Rapids end, and both teams will reconvene. On the center ice, it's Pratt. Motors in the offensive zone. Shot from the circle. Just goes wide for Pratt. At the right point, good job to hang on to a clearing attempt from Barrett. Long shot trickling wide into the corner. Pratt pinches. He's got it top of the left-hand circle. Fires one behind the net. Chased down by Barrett into the right half boards. Out to the right point on to Pullman. Pullman lifts one along, that's stolen and drugged behind the net by freshman defenseman Purdue to the right side to Skara. Skara, centering attempt, knocked down. He'll regather it at the Big Rapids blue line. Picked off his stick by Venaklaas. Venaklaas then picked right back by Skara, who drags in the neutral zone. Knocked away from him at center ice by DeBoer. DeBoer angles over the red line, throws it behind the Big Rapids net. Jones turning in, stolen away, down low, right corner by DeBoer. DeBoer feeds right circle, moving in. Willman shot in between the circles, handed it off for a charging DeBoer from one knee, misses the net wide. Right point, long rebound, out to Vanderveen. Long shot knocked in front. Final 40 seconds, first period. Bulldogs 0.9 in the first, no score. The Bulldogs on the attack the last few minutes after the bulk of this first period was spent down more on the Grandville end of the ice. Draw comes to the right side of Cooper Flax, the freshman netminder for Big Rapids. The Pullman line is out there for the Bulldogs. Schroeder will take the draw against Osaski. Blank save is made by Flax. Out to the point, shot from Pratt. A seeing eye shot is held on to and covered by Flax. Terrific net minding by each of the freshmen continuing this one. And we're still scoreless with 27.1 in the first. The Bulldogs got their 2 most dangerous sticks on good attempts right there. Same battle for this draw to the right side of the Big Rapids net. This time the Bulldogs able to sweep it and control with Schroeder. Schroeder down low to Pullman, feeds all the way up top, left side to Pratt. Pratt shot blocked by Blanchard to the right point for Vanderveen. Back over Pratt, left circle. Pratt long shot misses wide. Vanderveen chases down to the top of the right circle. Back left circle to Pratt. Pratt a shot blocked by Blanchard, up out of play. On the ice, I think Tyler Blanchard, the senior, did just enough to get a piece or at least redirect the angle of that shot. It goes up and out of play. It will stay down in the Big Rapids end one more time with 7.7 in the side. Scara and Schroeder on the draw. Tie up over this one. Fired on net, out of the scrum by Kulhanek. 3 seconds on the clock. Kulhanek able to get down low, got a steal, backhand in front, wraparound save by Flax. Zeros across the scoreboard. We've reached the end of the first period. 12 minutes for each of these teams to go back and settle things down, but we are scoreless after one as we go on to our Centennial Securities intermission report here on Game Night. And just a reminder that the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. And of course, as I mentioned, Centennial Securities intermission report, and Centennial Securities is a community service focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. Check out Centennial Securities online at centennialsec.com. All right, a lot more to get to here on the Centennial Securities intermission report. I mean, I guess a lot more to get to. We are scoreless through one. Both teams had some good chances at it, and yeah, it's going to be a very interesting close to this one. The intensity picking up between these two as well. Big Rapids, Grandville, no score after one here in the regional quarterfinal. Do not go anywhere.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. the hood of a brand new car. And the car was covered thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Welcome back to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It is hockey night on MGN, and it's playoff hockey night on MGN. We're scoreless through one between the Bulldogs and the Cardinals, Grandville and Big Rapids. Nate Dreyer again with you here from Southside Ice Arena. Not too much to report in the Centennial Securities intermission report as we're scoreless. The one thing to report, though, we talked, of course, extensively pregame show about a freshman-on-freshman battle in net. My goodness, Cooper Flax for Big Rapids, Aiden Karras for Grandville, both look absolutely terrific. They both had to make some really big saves. I think especially you think of what Flax did as the Bulldogs got some pressure at the very end of the first period of play was absolutely huge. A big part of why we are still scoreless at this point in time after the first period of play. Scott Bates is your local Grandville, Jenison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Grandville. A tale of kind of various parts, I think, in that first period. The first thing that I think definitely comes to mind is the open of this game, which was plagued by penalties. 3 for Big Rapids. Now Big Rapids went on a push. The middle part of the period really dominated in terms of the puck possession, where the puck was by Big Rapids. They got a few good looks at it, a few good stops for Aiden Karras. Actually, you could even say the best opportunity actually offensively may have come shorthanded, streaking back the other way for Big Rapids in that first period of play. The Bulldogs, their main attack coming at the very end of that first period of play, when they got kind of 3 or 4 really good looks snapped off right as the period was coming to a close. So the question is, where does that momentum look like? Are the Bulldogs going to be the team that continues what they were able to do at the end of the period, get some momentum, and get one of those shots from Pratt or Pullman or Kohanek to find a way to go home? Or will it be Big Rapids drawing first blood? Drawing first blood feels more and more critical. The way that first period went, how well the goaltenders played, knowing that each goaltender is a freshman as well, I think drawing that first blood, being the first team to go up 1-0 in a game that feels increasingly like a 1-0, 2-1 type of game, is going to be highly critical, obviously. I mean, it goes without saying right now, so definitely going to have to keep an eye on how exactly that plays out. A lot more to get to here on this Centennial Securities intermission report, about 5.5 minutes away from getting things back underway here from Southside.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center, those guys win every time. Season, and we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. Yeah. Driver. Hi, I'm Chandler.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dryer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dryer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dryer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye.
And Cam Regner's has scoring report for the Panthers. 4 points thrown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. All right, welcome back to Southside Ice Arena. Nate Dryer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It is hockey night on MGN. It is the Division III Region 20 quarterfinals. Big Rapids and Grandville tied at nothing after the first period of play. Both teams back out on the ice and both ready to rock and roll for the second period of play in this one. Again, the Bulldogs, the white uniforms, numbers in maroon, trimming and pants are maroon with the maroon helmet. It's the red uniform with the Montreal Canadiens style blue and white across the chest, even a Canadiens style logo for the Cardinals with the C on their crest. Pants are blue, helmets are blue for them. Team switch sides. Grandville moves left to right across the ice this time. It'll be Big Rapids moving right to left. Same lines that opened the game, and we are underway again. Big Rapids wins it back to their own blue line to Balahoski, lifts right side down just into the Grandville end, returned off the far boards. Pratt will fire it on through the stick of Pullman. Pullman regathers down into his own end as it's knocked away by Skara behind the net. Leaves a backhand near side to Pratt. Pratt sizes up, races in front of his own net, now angles left side. Hitting a long pass, trying to hit a streaking Pullman. Misses him at center ice, goes hard behind the Big Rapids net, and that will be an icing. The Bulldogs will come back down to defend on their own end. 16:36 in the second. Draw comes to the left side of the Bulldog freshman Karras. Skara on the draw against DeBoer. Pair of freshmen right here. Big Rapids pushes out right point to Leiter. Leiter throws left side to Flax. Flax down on a knee, left circle. Breaks his stick on a hard shot that's deflected inside scrum. Lifts far boards through the stick of Pullman. Pullman sells it down. The Bulldogs a 2-on-1 break. Here's Pullman into the zone. Shot left circle. Misses wide as he whistled that one. He had a streaking Kohanek along with him. Right point, poked along and held on to by Vanderveen. He'll cycle one along that's stolen near boards, racing out of his own end by Balahoski. Leaves a backhand pass looking for Osaski at center ice. Osaski able to momentarily drag past Pratt. Then Pratt steals it back away and goes behind his own net. Pratt fires off the near boards to center ice. Venaquas onto it first for the Bulldogs. Drags back into his own end as he's pressured by Blanchard. Blanchard steals it away, drags down into the near corner. A whistle is down and an interference penalty is on its way right here. 15:38 in the second, and it is going to be Big Rapids going to the man advantage. Now, who is it? Is it Pratt? It is going to be Pratt. So the Bulldogs' top defender, their senior Pratt, will have to take a seat for 2 minutes on the interference penalty. That is a very, very costly one. As Big Rapids in a scoreless game go on the attack. 15:38 to go in the second. Leiter on the draw against Schroeder. One out left point to Carter Leiter. Throws right top of the right circle on the Brogan Jones. Jones lifts one in front that directs away on net from Karras. Out to the left point for Carter Leiter. Fires one left circle, deflected up and out of play. 15:22 to go. Second period. 1:42 in the interference. Draw to the right side of Karras. Official will skate back. Looks like they got to reset the clock right here. A couple seconds came off that clock at the end of the play. Actually, we'll keep it going with 15-19, looks like. So, pushed along, out of the scrum and the draw. Blanchard had it. It's pushed through the skates of Leiter, left point, and trickles back down into the Big Rapids end, where Brogan Jones will set it up. Jones to Leiter and back. Jones angles back behind the Big Rapids net. 1:26 to go on the power play. Pass left side, misses, goes through the stick of Willman, trickles on to the Bulldogs' Vanderveen, who clears it back down behind the Cardinal net. 1:17 on the power play. Carter Leiters angling to the left side of his own net, goes back behind the net, chased down there by Kohanek. Goes through the stick of Osaski, poked on ahead by Veneklas, taken back by Osaski into his own end, and fires it back along. Here's Carter Leiter near boards, locked up by Kohanek in the defensive zone here. Kohanek steals it away on the attack, shorthanded with 41 seconds, lifts back to center ice, on to Vanderveen. Vanderveen throws left side to Willman, or to Fields, I should say, and Fields will clear it down behind the Big Rapids net, but the Bulldogs onto it left corner. Kohanek has been all over the place on the kill offensively. He's locked up 2 against 1 left corner. Jones takes it out of there, skates near boards. Stolen away by a turning Pullman. Pullman, nice move, left circle, backhander, save made by the freshman. Flax back onto his Pullman. Shorthanded on the attack. Poked away from him, stolen away by Skara, but a penalty is coming to Skara. Nine seconds were remaining, so we'll have 9 seconds of 4-on-4 coming up right here with 13:47 in the second. Still no score. Draw comes to the right side of the Big Rapids net. Schroeder on the draw here against Flax. Schroeder will actually look like he's going to get kicked out. He'll stay in there. They scrum over this one. Flax, second effort, lifts it along the boards, twisted back down behind the Big Rapids net to Strokrich. Strokrich lifts through center ice. It's tipped along down into the Grandville end. Chase down, Flax onto it first. Bulldogs back to even strength, and they are back to the man advantage now behind their own net. 1:39 here on a now Bulldog power play with Skara in the box. No score with 13:20 in the second. Pratt motors up the left side, tripped in front of his own bench, and the Bulldogs will go on a 5-on-3 advantage. Pratt able to draw the trip from Strokrich. And the Bulldogs go to a 2-man advantage for 90 seconds. Draw to the right side of Flax. Schroeder and Flax on the draw. One out left point here to Pratt. Pratt sizes it up, left circle to Veneklas. He'll leave it for Pullman along the left wing half boards. Up top for Pratt. Pratt, long shot, blocked down by Flax. Comes back onto Pratt. Right side to Barrett. Barrett shot. That one ricochets wide to the left side of the net. Pullman swipes at it, but it's cleared back away from him to center ice. Pratt onto it, motoring into the offensive zone. Shot in between the circles. Scores. Top shelf. Easton Pratt motors in with a 2-man advantage, and the Bulldogs draw first blood. The Bulldogs still will have 90 seconds of 5-on-4 coming up. 10 goals during the regular season for Easton Pratt. He motors into the zone and scores here. Draw comes to center ice, and the Bulldogs have got the advantage. Center ice back and forth battle over it came to the Big Rapids blue line, where it's pitchforked ahead by Leiter. Pratt takes it at his own blue line. Fires blue line to blue line, stolen away by Osaski. Taken away by Pullman, center ice. Pullman spinning through the neutral zone. Angling right side into the offensive zone, Pullman. 1:05 on the power play. Pullman right boards locked up by a pair of Cardinals. Out to Barrett. Barrett tries to fire it dot to dot across onto Pratt. Misses him, goes into the neutral zone and then filtered back down behind the Bulldog net. Far side, Barrett. Grandville with a 1-0 lead after the Easton Pratt goal. Here is Pratt trying to hit a streaking Cole Hannock. Goes through his stick just shy of the red line and up and out of play. 11:55 in the second, 38 seconds to go on this now 5-on-4 Bulldog advantage after the 5-on-3 goal from Pratt. 19 DeBoer and Flax on the draw. Coach Blashill arguing with the official, looks like over the placement of this draw, thinking that it should be back down into the Grandville end. Draw will stay neutral zone though. Same matchup between DeBoer and Flax on the draw. And Flax wins it straight back to the red line, fired off the right boards down behind the Grandville net by Balahowski. Near side scrum, lifts out left point, Flax gloves one down, motors to the circle, picked off nicely by Vanderveen. He'll hit a streaking Willman. Willman into the offensive pass, directed wide of the net, Scara near side onto it and clears the length of the ice for Big Rapids. 8 seconds on the Bulldog power play, 11:22 in the second. 4 seconds and less, Big Rapids will draw back even strength, but Grandville, when they had the 5-on-3 advantage, were able to draw first blood. DeBoer drags into the zone, knocked away from him once he got there by Purdue, who lifts out, and Grandville will go for a change as they are able to regather at center ice and slap one down behind the Big Rapids net. At center ice, Vanderveen with it for the Bulldogs, poked back through the stick of Heibel, and eventually settled down by Pratt and the Bulldogs in his own end. Fires to center ice, Osaski takes it, angles left side into a pair of Grandville bodies, knocked off the puck, taken away by Pullman. Then Pullman has it poked away by Purdue before Pullman steals back into the zone. Pullman trying to step by a defender. Hit a streaking Holloman, who has it knocked out from under him right in front of the net. Heibel now takes it left circle. Heibel drags into the corner. Arm goes up. Penalty is on the way. With a hook in the corner. 10:33 in the second. 1-0 Grandville. And the Bulldogs on the attack. Hook will be to the freshman Seth Purdue. The draw comes to the right side of Cooper Flax here. Tanner Flax, the leading scorer for the Cardinals on the draw against Mason Schroeder, the sophomore. Bulldogs win it against the boards to Pullman. He'll cycle at left point onto Barrett, back to Pullman, now back to Parrott, right? Barrett now back right side here to Pratt. Shot right circle, ricochets wide, left corner for Pullman, lifts behind the net on the backhand to Cole Hannock. Cole Hannock drags corner, lifts behind the net to Schroeder on the cycle. Schroeder rides all the way up the boards himself, leaves it there for Pullman. Pullman tips along left corner for Cole Hannock. Cole Hannock locked up along the boards, goes down against Leiter. As Carter Leiter locking him up, Jones takes it behind his own net. Now he's faced up by a pair of Bulldogs, and Pullman steals it away. 30 seconds off the power play. Pullman drug out of the scrum left corner with it. Andrew Pullman, the Bulldog leading scorer, loses it to Flax left corner, now taken away from Flax by Cole Hannock. Cole Hannock drags right in front, point-blank shot by Schroeder, and a save made by Cooper Flax, and the puck is cleared. A quick developing play right in front off a nice feed, a point-blank shot, and another point-blank save. Bulldogs stretching the ice down to Pullman. Left circle, shot, that one goes high and wide. Barrett keeps the zone, right circle. Cycles it up top for Pratt. Left side, one-time shot. Pullman broke the stick. Barrett wrap around down low. Goes through the crease, and Pratt with a new, will reset himself and start a new attack as he angles across the ice into the neutral zone. Pratt backhands past his intended target, Stonehouse. At the blue line, poked along behind the Big Rapids net, cycled up top to Vanderveen. Left side, long shot, Trammell. Fields misses everything wide. Right point, Vanderveen races to the rebound again. Left side on to Fields. Fields tees it up, left circle with shot pass, tipped up high, and a whistle cuts the air. Looks like the puck may have been played with a high stick. 17 seconds to go on the power play with Purdue in the box for Big Rapids. 8:50 to go, second period, 1-0 Grandville. Easton Pratt, a 5-on-3 goal a moment ago. That has been the only breaking either of these two terrific freshman netminders so far in this one. Draw comes to the right side of Cooper Flax. Fields, long shot right in front, rebound, they score! Luke DeBoer, the freshman, able to get to the free puck. He puts it home on the power play. 2-0 Grandville. DeBoer, the freshman, had 2 goals during the regular season. He's been very active in this game on the draw in particular. The puck sat there off a big rebound. DeBoer pops it home. It's a 2-goal advantage for the Dogs. .8:41 in the second. Holloman now the draw against Logan Leiter. Some fighting off the puck, the reset. Pullman tries to drag through, taken away by Balahowski. He races over the red line, fires right side, angles near side where Pratt chases it down and gets locked up by Balahowski. Holloman joins the fight with 8.5 in the second. Heibel pokes to center ice for Holloman. And Jones chases down the free puck into his own end. Jones tries to clear, went through Pullman, who's trying to block it at the blue line to center ice where Pratt rings one back down behind the Big Rapids net. Bulldogs go for a change, and they may get caught on this change. Racing back the other way, Quentin Heijnen. Heijnen down low, Pratt back checking, pokes him away from the puck. He was the lone Bulldog back down at the circle, and Grandville will now, off that poke job, clear the length of the ice, and that is an icing. 7:55 in the second. A kind of innocuous play, nearly turned deadly right there for the Bulldogs, and I nearly had a chance to lose that 2-0 lead as a quick 2-on-0 break started to form, but Easton Pratt got on his horse, able to neutralize the play, and long tie-up over this one. Poked ahead by Barrett, unable to, actually does just clear the zone as Carter Leiter races to it. Sent behind the Grandville net. Fields turns far side. Trammell Fields. Through the stick of Stonehouse. Went through Stonehouse on a Kohanek. Breakaway. Nice move. Backhand, forehand. Save made by an outstretched Cooper Flax. And the puck is covered up. A little bit of a scrum after as well. Another innocuous play, this time the other way. It nearly turns into a big opportunity as the puck just kind of tipped through the intended target, winds up finding Kohanek, who was streaking on a breakaway. He went backhand, forehand, but unable to get the finish as Cooper Flax had that one stretched out in red. 7.5 to go, second period. 2-0 Grandville. The Bulldogs with 2 in this period. Big Rapids wins the draw, taken by Balahowski, and throws one up and out of play from behind his own net. 7:29, second period, 2-0 Grandville. Draw to the right side of Cooper Flax here. Schroeder the draw on Scara. Schroeder wins it back, left point to Pratt. Pratt motor, shot, save made, and directed to the corner by Flax. Behind the net, here's Tanner Flax to the near side. Met right circle by Vanderveen. Helped out by a chasing Schroeder. Bulldogs keep the possession with Schroeder down in the corner. Suicide battle here. Lift out of there by Tanner Flax. Through the crease wide, out to the right-hand circle. Driving in with a moving Balahowski. Balahowski down to the left corner. Checked down by Pratt to a side scrum over the loose puck. Arm in the air, and a penalty is on its way to Big Rapids again. The Bulldogs with the possession. Center ice to Veneklas. Veneklas trying to drag into the zone. Touched up by Balahowski. And the Bulldogs again go back to the power play with a cross check. Cross check comes to Stokerich, the sophomore that spent a lot of time in the penalty box for Big Rapids this evening. 6:37 in the second. And the Bulldogs, who have already scored 2 with the man advantage, go back to the power play right here. Scored one of those 2 with a 2-man advantage. Draw to the right side of Cooper Flax. Osaski wins it straight back, but chasing it down is Kohanek. He'll lift left point to Pratt. Pratt right side to Barrett. Shot from the right-hand circle. Save made. Rebound to Pullman right corner. Right circle to Barrett. Lifts across. A whistle cuts the air. And we have another penalty and an interference, it looks like, from behind the play. And this may actually be a penalty coming to either side. That looks like that is going to be the case. Jones and Schroeder each to the penalty box. So counteracting penalties there. And the draw will come out of the offensive zone for the Bulldogs and all the way back down the ice the other way. Actually, check that. It's just. We're going to go 4-on-4. It looked like they're going to send one from either side of the box. It's just Schroeder the box. And we will have a minute 46 of 4-on-4 coming up. We'll be waiting to hear exactly what the announcement might be on that. Bulldogs win it back near side in their own end here to Fields. Fields off the boards, hits Willman at the Bulldog blue line. He'll twist over the line, backhand one along, that's stolen by Osaski, and Osaski will send one down behind the Grandville net. A arm goes up, a cross check is coming to the Bulldogs, and now Big Rapids will go to a 4-on-3 man advantage. And a sloppy, penalty-ridden game continuing here in the regional quarterfinal. Easton Pratt out talking with one of the officials, getting an explanation going back on that play. Good work, though, by Osaski, able to stay on the backhand and eventually kind of get that check in the back, go down as he backhanded along. And Big Rapids goes to the 4-on-3 advantage. A lot of space out there right now, with the Bulldogs with 2 in the penalty box and then Strokrich in the box for Big Rapids. 6:04 in the second. We'll have a minute 40, or a minute 28, I should say, of this, and then there even will be a slight 5-on-3 coming. Draw one back to Pratt, lifts one along, that's poked 2-0 the Grandville advantage. Draw to the left side of the Bulldog net, one straight out to the point in Balahoski. Fires right side to Flax, poked away, stolen away by Pullman, racing in 1 against 2. Gave a shoulder to Balahoski, knocked away from him. Now Tanner Flax will take and feed Balahoski left side. Balahoski all the way into the zone. Shot from the right circle goes wide. Rebound out left point to Skara. Skara, long shot straight into the crest of Karras. He dropped it momentarily and then settles it down. 5:36 in the second. 1 minute remaining here of the 5-on-4. There then will be a few seconds of 5-on-3, and then about 15 seconds of 5-on-4 advantage, but now remains 4-on-3. Big Rapids the edge. Draw comes to the right side of the Bulldog net. 2-0 Grandville. DeBoer, Pratt have each found the score sheet in this quarter, or this period. Osaski the draw on Pratt. It'll be the Bulldog senior defenseman taking this draw. Pushed straight on net, deflected into the corner. Blanchard against a pair of Bulldogs, stolen away here by Pratt. Now Blanchard reconvenes on him in the corner. Osaski comes to help. Near corner, to a side scrum now. Big Rapids gets it out to Carter Leiter. Feeds up top for Brogan Jones. Long shot, tipped in front. Save made by Karras. And an arm up. And a penalty is coming. Looks like an elbowing call is coming to Blanchard. The penalty box is more than full. And now the 4-on-3 is going to be over. A mess to continue to settle out in this one right here as Blanchard now goes to the box. Coach Blashill comes over and wants an explanation from the official. .5:16 to go in the second. And it's been a sloppy one here at Southside tonight for certain. Talked about in the pregame show, the Bates Agency pregame, how important the special teams units for each of these teams are going to be in this game. Little did we know they would be on the ice quite this much as they have been. Draw comes back down into the Big Rapids end. And we will go 3-on-3. A ton of ice out there for the next 40 seconds. Draw to the right side of the Big Rapids netminder. Far side here. Pullman and Flax on the draw. Pullman wins it straight back to a pirouetting Pratt. Locked up against the boards by Heijnen. Heijnen able to take it away. Sorry, check that. Balahoski able to take it away from a pair of Bulldog defenders. Lift one down into the Grandville end. Directed back to center ice to Brogan Jones with 21 on the 3-on-3. He'll take it right side. Lift behind the Grandville net. Barrett onto it. Barrett for Pullman. Pullman attacking. 3-on-3 left side to Pratt. Motors into the offensive zone. Shot left circle. Blocked down with 4 seconds in the 3-on-3. Pratt keeps the possession. Pratt left side to Barrett. Shot Save made, directed out of play. And now it will be Big Rapids for 10 seconds, going back to a man advantage. They go 4-on-3 advantage right here, but the draw is down in the Big Rapids end of ice. So 10 seconds of 4-on-3 coming up. Then we will go 4-on-4 for a bit. Bulldogs at the end of this are going to wind up getting a man advantage again as well. Cardinals win the draw back behind their own net, near side Strokrich. He'll clear it down to center ice where it's knocked down by Barrett. Barrett spins into his own end and motors up near side. We're 4-on-4. Barrett for Pullman, cycles into the offensive zone. Schroeder to the right point for Barrett with 10 on the 4-on-4. Lifts it left corner all the way around for Pullman, locked up by Carter Leiter against the boards. Hands off at the short left side on for Schroeder. Bulldog away, I should say, by Kolhanek down low. Kolhanek lifts in front for a charging Schroeder. He gets tied up in between the circles. Skara lifts out, and shorthanded Skara will counterattack. Past a Bulldog defender. Gave a shoulder right circle, locking up against Vanderveen. 1 against 4. Skara keeps the possession. Now he'll backhand with 20 seconds on the power play. Near side, Kolhanek goes down as he got roughed up to the right side of his net. 10 seconds. On the penalty kill here for Big Rapids. Behind his own net, Schroeder hemmed in by Logan Leiter. Barrett with 2, and we are back to even strength. 5-on-5 finally after all that. 3:13 to go in the second. Tyler Blanchard lifts behind the Grandville net, near side. Barrett turns on it, leaves it there for Logan Leiter. Leiter drags, stolen away by Mason Schroeder. Schroeder loses it in between the rings in front of his own net. Chopped along by Vanderveen, back down into the Grandville end. It got tipped alongside the net. We're racing onto it. Far side is Purdue. Purdue lifts one up. That would have been touched in offside. The Bulldogs will go for a change here. Long pass, misses a streaking Blanchard to center ice. And that one will go behind the Grandville net and will go for an icing. So the draw comes back down into the Big Rapids end with 2.5 to go in the second period. 2-0 Grandville. Goals this period on a 5-on-3 advantage for Pratt, on a 5-on-4 advantage for Luke DeBoer. Draw to the right side of Cooper Flax. Freshman been terrific. Freshmen for both teams in net have been. Osaski gets kicked out. Freddie Ortiz will come in his place. Ortiz, second effort, wins it back. Far corner to Balahoski, tries to clear the zone, but that touched off on the Grandville bench. And the draw will stay in the Big Rapids end. 2:29, second period, 2-0 Grandville. Draw to the right side of the Cardinal net. Osaski versus DeBoer this time on the draw. In between the circles, a long chase will now go to a side in the near corner. Big Rapids out of there on the counterattack to center ice. Lifting along was Montgomery, has his pass attempt blocked away behind the Grandville net where it's turned on by Pratt. Pratt lifts to center ice. It came on to DeBoer. Bulldogs with a man advantage, or with a rush coming back to the way. Here is Willman. Willman to the bottom of the right circle. A great stick gets in there from Balahoski to take away a great opportunity he would have had. Came on, bottom of the right-hand circle to Pratt. Tight angle shot, save made. I think it went off the mask of Flax. Right corner, to a side battle. Bulldogs steal away. Turn shot, DeBoer, and a whistle. And a penalty coming to the Bulldogs as Osaski went down in the corner. 1:45 in the second, and Big Rapids will go to the man advantage. Looks like it was a trip, and it will be Lucas Willman, the Bulldogs sophomore, going to the box. So potentially the rest of this period going to be spent on the power play based on, well, I guess, who knows with how power plays have gone in this one. Skara on the draw against Pullman to the right side of the Bulldog net. Skara gets kicked out. It'll be Strokrich in his place. Maybe not. Now they're going to say that Skara can stay in. Oh no, he tried to come back in and take that draw instead. The official shakes his head, says no, and Blanchard has to come back in. So it'll be Blanchard versus Pullman on the draw. One out to the point here for Big Rapids. Flax throws one down behind the net. Strokridge races it down. Right circle, Blanchard. Tight angle shot, lifted high and wide. Fields with it for the Bulldogs, near boards. Backhands, clears the zone nicely. Under 90 seconds to go in the second. 1:40 and less on the power play here for Big Rapids. Center ice, Blanchard dragging through into the offensive end. Got it past Pratt, chased in, down on the ice. Fields tries to clear the zone, can't do so. Point-to-point pass. Flax, top of the left circle. Shot is blocked down, taken here by Pullman on the counterattack. Pullman motors into the offensive zone, stripped off his stick by Flax, given on to Skara. 3-on-2 rush developing the other way. Skara shot in between the circles, knocked down, taken by Schroeder, and he'll clear the zone for the Bulldogs. 1:07 on the power play, 50 seconds to go in the second period. Far corner of the Big Rapids zone, two-a-side scrum after the puck is won by Mason Schroeder. He'll turn in the right corner. Schroeder to the far side, locked up by Brogan Jones. Carter Leiter joins as well. Schroeder keeping it locked up. Pushed along for Big Rapids on the counterattack the other way. Long pass misses Leiter at center ice, taken by Pratt, lifted just into the Big Rapids zone. Pitchforked back along on the backhand by Leiter, down behind the Grandville net with 16 seconds. That's where Pratt takes it, and Pratt right up the middle of the ice will clear it all the way down on to Flax, who comes out of that to play it with 8 seconds in the second period. Lifting the second period. 2-0, Grandville leads Big Rapids after 2 frames of play. And we welcome you into the Centennial Securities Intermission Report. Again, 2-0. We have a little bit more to talk about here. First off, a lot of penalties to talk about from that second period of play. But for the Bulldogs, they were able to draw first blood. First on the 5-on-3 advantage with Easton Pratt. Then later on, it was their freshman Luke DeBoer that was able to draw blood again on the 5-on-4 advantage. That's what takes Grandville into the final period of play with the advantage. By the way, as you can see on the scoreboard, at the very, very end of that period, there's another tripping penalty called against the Bulldogs, so it will be 15 seconds of 5-on-3, followed by another minute 45 of 5-on-4 coming up for Big Rapids to open the final frame. So certainly keep an eye on that. A lot more to get to here still on the Centennial Securities second intermission report. Grandville 2, Big Rapids nothing. After 2, we will be right back here from the regional quarterfinal.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches in state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
Welcome back. Zamboni continuing to find its way around. We continue to find our way through the Centennial Securities Intermission Report. 2-0 Grandville after 2 periods of play. Special teams and power plays and multiple power plays and 3-on-3s and 4-on-3s and 5-on-4s have been the story of this one. Just a sloppy game. I think in both directions you're seeing those penalties stack up. Of course, the Bulldogs right now have to deal with a 5-on-3 to open up the final frame. And then the extended period of 5-on-4 after that as well that's coming. But out of the power plays, Grandville did have the advantage. Easton Pratt, a 5-on-3 goal. Luke DeBoer, a 5-on-4 goal. And that is the difference right now through the first frame of play. Grandville leading Big Rapids in the regional quarterfinal here and Region 20 in Division 3. Winner has the host of this region, Catholic Central, on Saturday. If Grandville wins, I will be back here with the coverage again. Friday night, myself and CT continues. He tells me he doesn't want to learn hockey. He won't learn hockey. I'm kidding. I kid him, of course. But no, CT at least will be back Saturday or Friday for the hockey game as Grandville takes on Rockford in that. Chandler said he'd give all the hockey advice you possibly could want. He's all over the game. He knows certainly what it is. He could tell you an icing from an onside or an offsides maybe. If on a good day. I don't even think he could do that maybe. But regardless, CT and myself back at it Friday night with the doubleheader from Grandville Rockford video coverage of the girls boys there. By the way, do have an update. Grandville boys did win 50-39 over Jenison tonight. So great job there by them. I did not see actually. Let's get some of the scoring maybe up on right now as Tyson Mann goes for 15 in the win for the Bulldogs. Cam Regneris goes for 13. And then how about Colin Hybor? 3 threes in the third quarter for the Bulldogs sophomore. He has 9 points. And Grandville comes away with a win. And we'll have them again on the basketball side of things Friday. So Bulldog boys win that one. I haven't seen the girls score as of yet, but the Bulldog boys do win. And the Bulldog hockey team leading by 2. Could be a good night for Grandville Athletics. I think I just saw school's closed as well tomorrow for the Bulldogs, so things may be a little bit better or worse based on how you may view it with that as well. If you're a parent, maybe you don't want school to be canceled. Regardless, a lot more to get to here on the Centennial Securities Intermission Report. 2-0 Grandville over Big Rapids. We will be back with the final frame of play in just a minute.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
and it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It's hockey night on MGN. It's the regional quarterfinal here in Division 3. Grandville leading Big Rapids 2-0 after 2, but it will be 15 seconds of 5-on-3, another minute 45 of 5-on-4 coming up after that for the Cardinals as they look to counterattack and get back into this thing. All of our goal scoring so far have been when the special teams units have been out. A 5-on-3 goal for Bulldogs senior defenseman Easton Pratt, a 5-on-4 goal and a nice redirection or a put back in front from freshman forward Luke DeBoer. That's how we get through 2. Grandville, the white uniforms with maroon helmets and maroon pants, move right to left across the ice this time. It's the Montreal Canadiens-esque red, white, and blue uniforms for Big Rapids. They move left to right. Bulldogs have to kill 15 seconds of 5-on-3 to start. It'll be Skara taking the draw against Pullman. Extended fight over the draw. Osaski lifts out to the left side. He'll drag into the offensive zone. Osaski, left corner, leaves in front. Good stick from Pratt. Redirects behind the net, away from Flex. And the Bulldogs will clear it the length. 16.5 to go, final period. Balahowski up the left side of the ice, gets over the red line, lifts alongside the Grandville net, directed to the corner by Karras. Taken far corner by Pratt, backhanded, looking for Venequas, locked up by Balahowski along the half boards. Skara lifts out to the point, up top for Flax. Pass just missed him. Flax forced to race to the right side and tap it into the zone, down to the right corner. Pratt poking it away on to Pullman, far corner. Andrew Pullman turning with a 107 here on the penalty kill. Nice move by Pullman, splitting away from the defender. He'll race up the middle of the ice, splitting past Venequas into the offensive zone. Pullman split another defender. Forehand, backhand. Back to the bench and get a well-deserved rest and change and finish out the Bulldog change. 44 seconds to go on the Big Rapids power play. The Cardinals lift it from their own end down behind the Grandville net, and that will be an icing. What a play by Pullman. Locked up in his own corner. He put a little bit of a strafe move on, split by one defender, races up the middle of the ice, split 3 defenders over the blue line, went forehand, backhand, but a big save made by Cooper Flax, able to keep it a 2-0 game. 15:36 in the third, 36 seconds left on the power play here for the Cardinals. Near side, lifted off the boards and taken at center ice by a back skating Schroeder. Poked away from him by Logan Leiter into the Grandville end. Taken there by Fields, and Fields will fling it down behind the Big Rapids net. First onto it, Brogan Jones. Roughed up down low, gave it on to Leiter, and a penalty is on its way to the Bulldogs as down went Jones on the puck. That'll be Kohanek going to the penalty box. And that will be 11 seconds of 5-on-3 before the power play gets extended more so here for the Bulldogs. Draw back down into the Grandville end, white uniforms for the Bulldogs. Reds for Big Rapids. Draw to the left side of Carrison net. Scara on the draw against DeBoer. Big Rapids wins it. Top of the left point on to Belahosky. Throws it on net. Save made by Karras. Scara ties up with DeBoer again, this time to the right of the Bulldog netminder. Pratt took it out of the scrum, lifts it down the length of the ice, and the Bulldogs get one more back out of the box. A minute 50 of 5-on-4 for Big Rapids with 14:52 in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Right side of the ice, Belahosky moves to his left, motors over the red line, into the offensive zone. Belahosky to the bottom of the left-hand circle. Left one across the ice, top of the right circle to Flax, poked away from Flax nicely by Willman. Here comes Willman, chasing 1-on-2 the other way, got knocked down over the blue line, and Flax will take it. Flax misses center ice. Barrett lifts it back down behind the Big Rapids net. 1:14 in the power play. 14-18 in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Belahosky on end, throws left side, misses that intended target to the Bulldog blue line where Barrett paddles it back along the opposing blue line. Back to the way Blanchard on the counterattack. Run into the boards by Pratt as he got over. Pratt takes it near boards. He's now locked up by Blanchard. Pratt strong-arming the puck. Hard shot pass goes through Jones, trying to keep it at the blue line all the way back down the ice. That's a clear. 40 seconds to go on the Big Rapids power play. The Bulldogs change up their unit. Ortiz didn't see a pass to him. That misses into the Grandville end. Trammell Fields takes it. Ring. Chased down from behind by Stonehouse. Lifts it behind the Grandville net. Fields onto it. Arm up behind the play. Looks like another penalty coming to Grandville as that one is touched up. Or check that. It's going to be to Leiter. Yeah, checked, or it's going to be touched up, and Leiter will go to the penalty box. A trip against Leiter. 15 seconds were remaining on that Bulldog power play, so now 15 seconds of 5-on-4, and then the Bulldogs will go back to the man advantage as this penalty-ridden game continues. Extended portion, nearly 4 minutes all spent on the power play to start this period, down 2 for Big Rapids. It'll now be the Bulldogs, you would imagine, momentarily getting their first look on the power play here shortly. Draw to the right side of the Big Rapids net, to a side scrum, takes into the boards. Brogan Jones with it near side. He'll motor it out of his own zone. Jones with 4 seconds of the 4-on-4, lifts it all the way down onto the Grandville net, where it's going to be covered up by Karras. Kohanek comes out of the box, and the Bulldogs will go to the power play. Grandville with a minute 45 on the man advantage, and a 2-0 lead with 13:08 in the third. Coach Brazil's team looking for a third straight regional championship and looking to get things started in the quarterfinal here. Flax the draw on Schroeder to the left side of the Bulldog net. Pushed ahead to a streaking Pullman. Nice move into the offensive zone. Pullman, left circle, shot, save made right into the crest of Flax again, though. A nice move by Pullman, streaking and turning, this time up the left side of the ice past a pair of defenders. 1:36 to go on the Bulldog power play. Exactly 13 minutes to go in the game. 2-0 Grandville. Draw to the right side of the Big Rapids net. Schroeder will take the draw against Strokrich. Pushed ahead for Kohanek, taken by Jones, and Jones will redirect himself in between the circles and lift it down the length of the ice. Karras sets it up, turning near side to Pratt, fires it to the red line to Kohanek, backhands on to Pullman, into the zone Pullman. Top of the left circle, shot, blocked away, left point, long shot from Pratt, save made, big rebound, backhanded along by Blanchard to the boards. He's locked up there by... Draw comes to the right side here of the Big Rapids net. Pushed out here to Jones behind. Jones fires far side onto a twisting Osaski. Osaski back behind the net to a turning Montgomery. Lifted away from him by DeBoer. DeBoer locked up. Whistle off the puck. Looks like the corner of the net away from the play came off its moorings alongside Flax. And Flax will get ready to see the draw to his right side. 57 seconds on a Bulldog power play, 2-0. One back by Jones, flung off the backboards to Skara. Skara, left side, lifts off the glass all the way down. It came, though, onto a streaking Flax. Flax takes it, right circle, down a man, shot across his body, save made by Karras. Bulldogs with the power play on the counterattack. It's Pratt, motoring through the neutral zone. Left circle, Pratt, dragging the puck down low. Backhands in between the circles. Flub shot from Stonehouse, point-blank range. Picked up by Pratt, he'll take it up top. Pratt swings right side to Vanderveen. Long shot, tipped in front by DeBoer. Save made, held on to by Cooper Flax. 11:48 in the third. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Looks in either direction, and both teams now will change out their units. Inside 12 minutes to go in the regional quarterfinal. Draw to the left side of the Big Rapids net. Minder. Strokrich takes the draw against Barrett, and Strokrich wings it back behind his own net. To the near side, Logan Leiter lifts to the left point, held on too nicely by Lucas Willman. Long shot from Willman. Big rebound onto a charging Kohanek is knocked wide. Balahowski out of his own zone for Big Rapids, throws it into the Grandville end onto the turning stick of Schroeder. Schroeder nicely splits a pair of defenders, turns up ice into the offensive zone, stripped by Logan Leiter and lifted back to center ice. Pullman races to the Grandville blue line, throws it down into the Grandville end. Fields kind of whiffs on a pass for Vanderveen. Vanderveen races to it, loses it at center ice to Leiter. Leiter lifts down behind the Grandville net. We're back to even strength. Fields moves it near side. Here's Pullman. Pullman through Venaklaas, back to Fields. Fields splitting by Jones. Backhands on a pitchfork move into the Big Rapids end. Chase to the puck. Carter Leiter there first. Moves far side, locked up by Venaklaas. Taken by Osaski. Osaski now locked up to his side scrum against the right wing half boards in the Big Rapids end. 10:38 to go in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Regional quarterfinal here in Division 3. Long scrum, puck breaks free. Osaski takes it out of there. Brody Osaski, 3-on-2 rush up the middle of the ice. Tries to drop it off, stolen away by DeBoer. DeBoer then loses it onto the streaking Heijnen, who fires one on net, and a save is made out of the scrum there, and the bodies all collapse together, and a little bit of jawing after the play, but a good job again by Karras, the freshman, keeping the score sheet blank so far for the Bulldogs. Draw comes to his right side. 10:20 to go in the third. Holloman has the draw for the Bulldogs. Big Rapids is waiting to get one more out on the ice to set their unit. It will be Osaski taking the draw, and he'll win it back. Tipped out of there, and the Bulldogs' Wolkowitz able to exit the zone to center ice. Ortiz turned on in front of his own bench for Big Rapids. Heibelhead at center ice, throws down deep. Near side, Purdue. To the right point, Wolkowitz. Wolkowitz unable to hang on to the zone, goes back in the neutral zone, backhands down into the Big Rapids end. Stolen and counterattacked here with Balahowski. Balahowski locked up just over the red line by Pullman. And he'll send it down to the Grandville end of the turning stick of Easton Pratt. Pratt fires a pass, left side, that tips down into the end. Out of nowhere, Heibel races onto it. But a whistle is down behind the play. And it's going to come back down into the Grandville end here. Must have been an icing called right there before Heibel was able to get to that puck. So, draw comes to the left side of Aiden Karras. Two-a-side scrum against the near boards. Jones has it pinned there for Big Rapids. Willman pokes it away, and Lucas Willman turns it down into the Big Rapids end. Scara will chase it down and restart the attack. Scara on far corner, knocked into by Veneklas. Near side, Jones gets run into. Leiter joins to help throw a counter check back the other way. Puck tips on net out of that scrum. Flax sets it up for his brother, Tanner. Lee Field steals it near corner, motors up the boards. Here's Fields over his own line, over the red line. Backhands run into by defenders on either side of him, alongside the net. Chased down there by Charles Montgomery. Montgomery lifts near side at the AQ logo at center ice. It's stolen by DeBoer. DeBoer flings it back down behind the Big Rapids net. 8:41 to go in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Two-a-side scrum, left corner, Big Rapids end. Logan Leiter had it momentarily, poked away from him by Kulhanek along the near boards, and Kulhanek will take a puck that got tipped one more time to the neutral zone. And a whistle is down as that puck it may have actually hit someone in the Bulldog bench. It'll be a draw coming back to the neutral zone here. 8:22 in the third, 2-0. Grandville moves right to left. Big Rapids moves left to right. Far side draw. Holloman versus Osaski. Holloman wins it straight back. Pratt left side to a streaking Pullman. Into the zone. Left circle. Protecting. To the front of the net. Pullman trying to turn the corner. Save made by Flax. Turnaround from behind the net. Heibel blocked away. Near corner Osaski. Goes far corner behind his net. Tries to clear and is able to clear as that goes through Vanderveen back down to the Grandville end. Pratt near side. Into the neutral zone to Heibel. Heibel past Ortiz. Nice move. Hands off for Holloman. Holloman sent down to the ice hard as he got tied up with Purdue and lifted back along by Balahoski down to the Grandville end. Pratt to the Grandville line to Holloman. The center ice to Pullman. Pullman just into the zone. Scara pitchforks along. Heibel nearly had a steal, but it's tipped out to center ice. That's where Vanderveen races to it, throws it behind the Big Rapids net. The Bulldogs go for a change. 7.5 to go. A long pass from behind the net to the red line is tipped down by Strokrach in behind the net. Far boards, Veneklas turns it over to Flack. Shot in between the circle, blocked away. Pratt got a piece of that one. He'll go back as he's feeling it a little bit to the bench. Big Rapids then takes and clears the length of the ice down behind the Grandville net, and that will be an icing. 7:10 in the third. 2-0. Draw to the left side of Flax in the Big Rapids end. Veneklas able to tip it nearly on net, goes wide. He'll race in 1 against 3. Got tied up by Leiter. Now it's Schroeder going 1-on-2, left corner. Rejoined by a couple more. 2-on-2, 3-on-3 type battle. Jones lifts out of there on to Heijnen. Heijnen to center ice, one hands along looking for Logan Leiter. Backhanded away from Leiter by Willman, as Willman's able to just get that down into the Big Rapids end. Now Carter Leiter lifts to the Grandville blue line. Fan pass from Barrett to Fields is taken by Heijnen. Throws a shot on net that's tipped high and wide into the right-hand corner. Chasing after this one is DeBoer for the Bulldogs. Here's Barrett far side, trying to lift for Kulhanek, who nearly could have been broken free. He got a little bit tied up. It goes past Kulhanek all the way down the ice behind the Big Rapids net. That is an icing. 6:12 to go in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Draw to the right side of Aiden Karras, the Bulldog freshman. Again, freshman versus freshman in net. Only goals we've seen have been on one of the many power plays that have taken place throughout this one. Far side draw, Osaski gets kicked out. He was going to be going up against DeBoer. Now Ortiz comes in against DeBoer. Long tie-up over this one. Sent along for Pratt behind the net. Near side to Vanderveen, back to Pratt, far side. Pratt lifting ahead, tipped on to DeBoer. Quick cut move over the blue line, lifts to center ice. Where Osaski will backhand it along into the Grandville end, sent right back at him. And then Stonehouse collects it at the blue line and lifts down into the Big Rapids end. Clearing attempt from Purdue, taken in offside by Stonehouse. 5:44 in the third, 2-0 Grandville. Both those goals coming back in the second period. Pratt and DeBoer each finding the score sheet. Neutral zone draw, far side. Flax and Holloman on the draw, the lines that open the game back out there. Holloman wins it straight back. Cycle to Pratt, left side, gets over the red line, flings it in behind the Big Rapids net. Along the half boards, Strokich tries to lift, stolen momentarily by Pullman, knocked away from Pullman by Balahoski. He'll split by a couple of Bulldogs, give on to Strokich, in between the circles, shot, save made, rebound and covered by Karras. The freshman able to answer, 5:24 in the third, 2-0 Grandville. What a stop by the Bulldog freshman who's locked in here. A great feed, and Maverick Strokich, who had 6 goals during the regular season, split free in between the circles, a point-blank shot and a point-blank answer from the Bulldog freshman netminder. 5:24 in the third. Draw to the right side of the Bulldog freshman in net. Grandville wins it straight back to Fields, tries to fling up the right side for Pullman, knocked down at the blue line by Big Rapids and sent behind the net. Barrett chases it down for the Bulldogs, taken away by Strokich. Tries to lift left point, poked by Pullman to the corner. Barrett for Pullman alongside the net, unable to clear, held on to left point by Brogan Jones, and the net comes off of It's Nothing Grandville. Draw to the right side of Karras. Bulldogs went straight back behind the net, chasing in Blanchard, locking up Barrett, who flings it right side looking for Pullman. Whistle cuts the air behind the play. We got another penalty coming up right here. Looks like an elbowing call is going to be on its way, and it's going to be Blanchard going back to the Big Rapids box. 4:54 in the third, and Grandville, the 2-0 lead, go back to the man advantage. Osaski and Schroeder on the draw. Pushed on net. Big rebound. Left circle came on to Pullman. Fires one that's tipped up and out of play from the left circle. 4:48 in the third. 1:54 on the power play here. Blanchard in the box for the Cardinals. The Bulldogs with the 2-goal advantage. Draw to the right side. Grandville wins it out. Right point to Barrett. Barrett swings down deep for Kolhanek. Kolhanek to the right corner for Schroeder. Back up top for Barrett. Barrett swings left side to Pratt. Pratt left circle. Pullman back up top. Shot from Pratt. Blocked away by Osaski to the corner and cleared the length of the ice by Balahoski. 90 seconds on the power play. Pratt with some difficulty settles it down behind his own net. Tries to hit Barrett, went through Barrett to center ice on to Kolhanek, who backhands along, stolen at the blue line by Balahoski, who had his clearing attempt broken up, came on to the left side of Leiter. He'll lift it down the length of the ice. That puck was played with a high stick, and it is whistled down. It'll go back down into the Big Rapids end here. 1:10 in, remaining in the power play. 4:04 to go in the hockey game. 2-0 Grandville. Pratt, DeBoer, the second period goals. Far side, Scara, DeBoer on the draw. Scara sweeps it back. Lifted off the right boards by Jones to center ice on the Flax. He is stripped nicely by Pratt as he was trying to break it away, and Pratt motors into the offensive zone. Leaves one in between the circles for Stonehouse. Stonehouse up top, DeBoer's shot blocked down. Stonehouse races to it, bottom of the left-hand circle. In between the circles, DeBoer down on a knee. Fans on that shot attempt from right in front. Bouncing rebound, top of the left circle. Came on to Pratt. Pratt reverses to the blue line, poked away from him. Scara tries to hit Flax, center ice. They knock that away, and it's sent down behind the Big Rapids net. You know, Pratt may be feeling it a little bit as he finds his way back to the bench. He had blocked a shot earlier. It looked like he was feeling it there and feeling it then as well. Scara angles left side through the neutral zone, stolen away by Stonehouse. Stonehouse with 22 on the penalty, shoots one in between the circles that goes wide. Pullman cycles it along. Flax takes it, and Tanner Flax lifts it the length of the ice to be played by Karras. 3:02 in the third. Bulldogs and Willman able to just clear the zone. Logan Leiter backhands behind the Grandville net. We're back to 5-on-5. Vanderveen stretch pass, center ice. Kohanek misses. It'll go back down behind the Bulldog net, or to the side of the Bulldog net in the Bulldog end. 2:43 in the third. 2-0 Grandville. Draw to the right side of Karras coming up. Far side draw. Osaski will take it for Big Rapids. Red, white, and blue Canadian-style jerseys. The whites with maroon for the Bulldogs. DeBoer on the Grandville draw. He'll sweep it straight back to Fields. Fields far side swings it all the way around. 2:33 in the third. Karras here. And with 2:33 to go, both teams go back to the bench. There is a timeout that is called from the Big Rapids bench to set things up right here before a very big offensive draw is on its way for them. Scott Bates is your local Grandville, Jennison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Grandville. Centennial Securities is a community service-focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values since the day they opened at CentennialSEC.com. 20 seconds left on this timeout. Into the closing stages of the third period of the regional quarterfinal game. Grandville 2, Big Rapids nothing. Both the Bulldogs' goals coming on power plays, one of which was a 5-on-3 back in the second. Pratt and DeBoer finding the score sheet in the second game. It's been filled with penalties in both ways. We've seen, this third period, the first 4 minutes or so was spent on essentially an extended power play chance for Big Rapids. An extended Bulldog power play chance back in that second period when they scored a couple. The end of the third period was back and forth penalties for either team. It's been that kind of game. It's been a tough physical game for both teams. Freshman goaltenders for both teams have been very, very good. Karras, particularly for the Bulldogs, outstanding, but he'll need a couple more answers. With 2.5 to go, the Bulldogs with a 2-goal lead. Far side draw, Scara will lock horns with Mason Schroeder. Scara sweeps it back. Flax, right side. Balahowski, shot, scores! From the right circle. Jack Balahowski, the junior, had 15 goals during the regular season. Snipes that one. And Big Rapids within a goal with 2.5 in the third. Big Rapids alternate captain Balahowski been very active in this game for certain on both ends of the ice. And coming through One of the biggest goals of the junior's career for certain. And now just a one-goal game, and certainly Big Rapids have life. Flax on the draw against Schroeder. Balahoski has it on the right side, backhands along at the Bulldog blue line. Pratt fires to the Big Rapids blue line. Balahoski gloves it down, pushes it ahead, chases down into the corner, racing against Vanderveen. Vanderveen, far side, ridden off the puck, stolen by Flax. Backhanded in between the circles, stolen by Pullman. Pullman tries to exit the zone. Strokridge hangs on to up top. Seeing eye shot nearly directed in. Pratt picks it up alongside the net. His clearing attempt stolen by Strokridge. Shot blocked out of play by Schroeder. A churning Big Rapids offense right now off the goal have got the Bulldogs on their back foot. 1:54 in the third, and they're going to pull the netminder. Cooper Flax is going to come to the bench. 6-on-5 attack here with the net empty. 1:54 in the third, and a 2-1 game. Draw to the left side of Karras, near side. Scara was set to face off with Schroeder, and Coach Brazil will use his timeout now to resettle his team, as it is certainly Big Rapids right now with all the energy circling and charging off the Balahoski goal, and now looking for one more to knot things up. And the decision made right there, you see just under 2 minutes to go to pull the netminder. We'll see if Flax does stay on the bench, if they will stay with the man advantage or the extra skater, or what decision Coach Blashill may decide to ultimately go to here out of a little bit extra time to draw something up. So chance for the offense to draw it up, but in particular a chance for Brazil to get his team to reset a little bit and discuss things defensively, as they can expect the extra man to be thrown at them out of this timeout. 2-1 Grandville. A pair of second period goals for the Bulldogs, and the Cardinals and Balahoski with an answer just a moment ago here in the third. We're at the Aquinas rink at Southside Ice Arena this evening. Grandville, the white uniforms, maroon helmets, maroon pants, the Montreal Canadian-esque red, white, and blue sweaters with blue pants. For Big Rapids, break out one more time. Net is empty. It will be 6-on-5. Draw to the left side of Karras. Flax, Schroeder on the draw. Tie up. Balahoski takes it out along the half boards. He'll race to the right point. Balahoski turns. Shot blocked in front by Schroeder. Rebound to Flax in the corner. Flax circle. Shot. Save made. Karras. Puck loose. On to Pratt. Pratt behind the net. Clears off the left boards to center ice. Scara didn't see it. It's settled down by Strokridge. Strokridge on the backhand into the zone. 90 seconds to go. On to Logan Leiter from the right circle. Leiter lifts the shot on net. Gloved and held on to by Karras. Draw to the left side of the Bulldog net coming up. Just under 90 seconds to go. 2-1 Grandville, regional quarterfinal. It is do or die. Winner plays Saturday against Catholic Central. Scara sweeps it back. Balahoski, left side Flax. One-time shot blocked down by Kolhanek. Chase to the puck in the corner. Pratt locked up by a pair of Big Rapids defenders, or attackers. Blanchard has it. Dragging against the half boards. Up top for Flax. Goes through Flax stick in front of his own net. Kolhanek chasing it against him. Flax able to protect with the net empty and gave it on to a sprinting Balahoski up the middle of the ice. Balahoski split a pair of defenders. Stolen away by Pratt. Takes it into the far corner. 54 seconds to go. Locked up there by Blanchard. 3-a-side scrum with 48 seconds. Schroeder locked up, backhand feed in between the circles. Pullman backhands the length of the ice, just misses off to the left side. That is an icing. 39 seconds in the third. 2-1. Net will remain empty here. Coach Blashill arguing with the official late. Draw to the left side of Karras. Scara, Schroeder on the draw. Tie up, Pullman's got it. Backhands to neutral zone, and Pullman will get on his horse and chase it against Flax into the offensive zone. Flax protecting, stolen by Pullman, scores into the open net. 3-1, and that'll do it. 28 seconds to go, the Bulldogs back up 2. Andrew Pullman been all over the place down the stretch. He makes the one-on-one play against Flax and will move the Bulldogs on to the next round. Wider and Schroeder. Netminder back in, and the Bulldogs force it on net where it's directed to the corner by Cooper Flex. 20 seconds to go. Logan Leiter center ice, knocked away by Pratt onto the stick of Heijnen. He'll try to drag into the zone. The Bulldogs and DeBoer now have it center ice with it. Heijnen lifts down behind the Grandville net. Karras plays it with 3. That'll do it. The Bulldogs are moving on. A late charge from Big Rapids, but the Bulldogs are going to start off their stretch run looking for a 3rd consecutive regional title with a win. 3-1 the final here today, and the Dogs move on to play Saturday. We will have the coverage of that one against Catholic Central right back here on Game Night. Lot to get to as we turn on to the Bates Agency postgame show. Nate Dreyer with you here from Southside. What a hotly contested contest down the stretch. Both teams now will get set for the handshake lines, and the Bulldogs are moving on. A pair of goals in the 3rd period. Balahoski had 1 for Big Rapids, and then of course the empty netter for Pullman. Wins it for the Bulldogs 3-1. A lot more to get to, including our Centennial Securities Player of the Game here on the Bates Agency postgame show. Do not go anywhere.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINR.
All right, let's wrap it up here on the Bates Agency postgame show. 3-1, Grandville over Big Rapids. The Bulldogs moving on. They will play Saturday right back here on Game Night. They got Catholic Central, the host of this region, what certainly will be a fun one. So many options to go with as well now for our Centennial Securities Player of the Game, but you have to look in net. The freshman, Aiden Karras, comes in for the Bulldogs, gives up just 1 on that snipe from Balahoski, and he helps deliver. You obviously could look to Pullman, look to so many other options as well, but a terrific effort. You got to go. The freshman netminder Karras for the Bulldogs. Both freshman netminders did a great job in this one, standing on their head. But at the end of the day, Karras able to do just a little bit more of a job doing so. Some really big stops and some big moments, especially down the stretch, and that push that Big Rapids made. And Aiden Karras, our Centennial Securities Player of the Game, delivers the win for the Bulldogs. Grandville moves on. They'll play Saturday. We'll have, again, as I said, the coverage right back here from Southside. Friday night, we're back on the air. Grandville-Rockford video doubleheader coverage of that one. And then, of course, Saturday, We'll see if the Bulldogs can advance back to another regional championship game as they're looking for their third straight regional. Heck of a battle. Coach Brazil's team just coming away with the advantage and a very physical, very tough one. All right. Nate Dreyer for everyone at Michigan Sports Radio. For Chandler Timmer, may not be here, but for Chandler Timmer at Michigan Game Night and everyone else at MGN and MSR, I am Nate Dreyer. Signing off. We'll see y'all Friday night, 5:30. We're on the air. Grandville and Rockford. Video coverage of basketball in that one.